ready to go racing here in Iowa. Third short track race of the year. Previous two this year have been won by Junior Motorsports, who gets it done today. Ryan Sieg, the pole sitter, chooses the outside lane with Ross Chastain to his left elbow. Green flag at Iowa for 250 laps underway in Corn Country.
Great jump by Ryan Sieg there. Kind of caught Ross Chastain maybe sleeping a little bit or spun the tires, but vaulted away. Oh, as Roger Carruth goes up the racetrack out of 2.
Gets really loose right there off 2 Carruth, and Sammy Smith was able to make it 3 wide down into turn 1. See him on the bottom there, the red and white number 8. Really good start for him.
Those restarts all day, that inside lane into 1. If you can make a dive bomb move like that and make it work, we saw Sam Mayer do that quite a bit last year to much success late in the race, so we'll keep an eye on that as the battle for position inside the top 5 resumes. Here's Sheldon Creed inside of Carson Kvapil, winner a couple weeks ago at Indianapolis.
See Allgaier, not really known for short run speed, but always good on the long run. Look how wide this track's getting already. Probably won't see guys get above that new asphalt patch right there, but you just have so much momentum, even a little bit of draft here down the front stretch. You see Creed on the inside.
Yeah, 160 miles an hour into turn 1, then down to about 115 at the center of the corners. That's why we say this is a fast, short track, over 100 miles an hour the whole way around. The draft does matter down the front stretch. You will see side drafting down the back stretch as these guys race side by side, and usually that top prevails for a lap or 2 after a restart, and then the bottom has a chance, as you see Sheldon trying to clear one of these Junior Motorsports cars, but to no avail.
Look at the draft, though, the speed, the momentum those guys are able to carry in the outside lane. It looked to me like Creed make up a little bit of ground on the inside, but then just the momentum on the outside. And I'm sitting here thinking about this. I don't think we call it a short track. I think we call it a shorter track.
Oh, okay, there you go.
Yeah.
I like that.
Creed got in line there behind Allgaier for 5th, and then thought maybe he was going to open the door back up for Sammy Smith to get to the inside of him here as we look back at the other Junior Motorsports car, Raja Carruth there in the 88. This is into turn 1, lap 1.
Great qualifying effort by him, but you just see that big wiggle in the wrong place when you're trying to get back to the throttle to get the exit on the high side, the preferred groove on the restart. Just the car got away from him, but it was a great qualifying effort. You have more, Kim?
Yeah, crew chief Marty Lindley likely to be a little bit disappointed in that start, because when I talked to Marty before the race, he said there were 3 things I underlined and told Raja he has to do to be successful here at Iowa. That was, he can't overrun the tires, we have to have a good day on pit road, and that final thing, restarts and starts have to be on point. Remember, he's right below that cut line looking for a good points day, and certainly losing positions in the early stage could cost him valuable stage points.
Cam mentioned a great point. It's exactly what I thought when I saw him get loose and he slid up. He's in a position, you know, in the top 2 or 3 right there, and he's all, you know, falling back to 8th now. Those 6 points could be massive when we get down to this cutoff.
Things getting physical here. This is for 4th. Carson Kvapil and Sheldon Creed trying to go back the right direction here and march back forward through the field. This was just now off of turn 2.
Well, we're at lap 8, and oh, there's that door. As you try to do the side draft, you'll see that often. You'll pin it into the left rear of the car on the outside of you, because it's just the best way to drag them back, then have the momentum into 3. But I have to think there's some frustration. We're heading towards lap 9, and these two have been side by side the entire time.
Oh, there's no doubt Creed's annoyed right now with Carson, who's fighting him so hard on the outside. You know, Allgaier was in this fight when we showed it just a few laps ago, and he has been able to clear both of these guys and driven on. Just looks to me like Creed cannot complete that pass, and it's brought in Sammy Smith and Jesse Love now, so then Creed has to regroup. You see he's going to work back to the middle here. Doesn't want to get pinned on the bottom and get passed by all these guys.
Sammy Smith there in the 8's been working the bottom this entire time as the 00 and the 1 go to work, and brought Jesse Love into the mix there as well, who was so good in practice earlier today. Ryan Sieg out front. He's led them all from the start. Only the 3rd time he's led laps here at Iowa. But the Haas factory team, a great package here at this racetrack. Of course, won last year with Sam Mayer. And that group and alliance of the Haas factory team doing a nice job here to hold on to the track position that they've got. 11 laps in here at Iowa. This move was key for Ryan Sieg to get ahead of the curve and take the lead.
Get ahead of the curve.
Back at Iowa, good racing here inside of the top 10. Working our way towards the halfway point of stage number 1. Jesse Love running 6th, up a few spots from the start. Sammy Smith and Raja Karuth, the junior motorsports teammates there, all racing for position.
Yeah, almost saw a little contact there between Sammy Smith and Jesse Love. It looked to me like the 8 was quite a bit quicker, but now it's faded back. Having to play a little bit of defense from Raja, who we saw get so loose on that initial restart, trying to fight his way back to the top. This track, though, super racy. You see those guys, some running right along the white line, some splitting the seam, some above the seam.
Well, you say that, but we see there Raja Karuth trying to get by Sammy Smith. If everyone's running the top, the only way to pass is to go below them, get to the bottom, but it's hard to get the power down as we go later in this run. You want to pack air, as William Swalwich is trying to do to Corey Day right here as we go to sound gear onboard. He's going to put that air just to pack the air against that left rear of Corey Day, trying to move him out of the groove, get him loose, get him to check up on the throttle, and allow you to dive to the inside. It is, the drivers will say it's tough to pass here, it's racy, but it can be tough because everyone ends up in this similar groove up top.
And it gives you a great perspective as we ride on board with William Swalwich of the bumps of the track and how it bounces up and down back of the car.
Left of the screen, battle for second. Junior Motorsports teammates again. Justin Allgaier, Ross Chastain. Right of the screen, that battle for position between Corey Day and William Swalwich outside the top 10s. Now brought in teammate Taylor Gray and Jeremy Clements there as well. As Day is loose.
Right there. Yeah, the panic was going to set in from the 18 because of all those other guys catching. Like, if I don't get by him soon, I'm going to be vulnerable from Clements and Taylor Gray.
And for Swalwich, he's got to go. He's got to get points no matter how he can get them. That means stage points. That means having a good finish today. He's one of those drivers that's on the bubble outside of the playoff cut, the chase cut right now as he sits 13th. They've had 2 really good weeks, though. He's gained 37 points to that the last 2 weeks after back-to-back top 5. So some good momentum rolling right now for the 18.
And Corey Day is going to want a caution soon. As loose as that car is, you look, we have 37 laps to go in this stage. That is a long time to try to hold on to a car that is that free.
Yeah, but knowing him, he'll be like, yeah, it's pretty good.
Yeah, right.
He likes a loose race car.
Sammy Smith and Jesse Love back to work here. This is a race for the 6th spot. Smith is going to try the middle here.
This is so much fun to watch because the track has options. Jesse Love just keeps doing something different, and it's annoying for Sammy Smith because he's like, I need you to pick a lane so that I can figure out where I want to go. But Jesse's searching around, trying to find the grip, and it looked to me like Jesse was going to get away from him just a few laps ago. But look at the run right here. Sammy Smith's found a little bit of speed. Just trying to go wherever the 2 is not, but you see how he can keep his left front just slightly lower, gives him that little bit of drive, clean air so the car stays turning off. It's just so hard to complete the pass, as we saw earlier with Sheldon Creed and Carson Kvapil. Sammy did a great job of not overdriving the entry right there, packing the air as you showed earlier with William Swalwich and Corey Day.
And Sammy has been aggressive. Right before we came back from break, he was right on the back bumper of that 2 car trying to shove him up out of the way and may have got him moved up out of the groove again here.
And the key here is you want to get these moves done quickly if you can. If you have positive momentum, you saw right there, caution's out. Nathan Bird spun around.
First caution of the day.
Yeah, get everyone come back up just
about
onto
halfway
the
through
apron.
stage 1.
Corey Day just said, whoo-hoo. Thanks.
We can't lose another lap. Go. Don't bend the line.
42 keeps rolling. And that'll draw the field closer. Bird was running in the 34th spot at the time of that yellow. And that will erase a 2.5 advantage that Ryan Sieg had after leading from the drop of the green. Here's what happened to Nathan Bird.
You see,
Right in front of Justin Allgaier.
Yeah, it's going to be right on the inside of Garrett Smithley here. Getting down into the corner, washes up. A little bit of contact there at the left rear.
That might be the first time we've seen it today. It won't be the last time we've seen that, I guarantee you.
Under caution at Iowa. NASCAR on the CW is brought to you by Progressive Insurance. Get in the savings lane today. Visit progressive.com. By the Credit One Bank NASCAR American Express card. And by O'Reilly Auto Parts, your professional parts people. Welcome back to Iowa. Under caution here for the first time, halfway through stage number 1. Sam Mayers, the two-time and defending winner of this race, had some work to do starting deep in the field, but Carla, he has already been on the move and picked up 10 spots.
How do you balance knowing you've got a 100% winning percentage on a track with the fact that when you started this race, you were just 29 points above the cut line? Well, Sam Mayer says, I will always choose to be on offense. Told me this week he hates points racing. Said mentally, I've just never been great on the defensive side. He said, I want to be the aggressor. So even if whatever reason I don't make the chase, I can say I tried everything. This weekend, he wants to find lightning in a bottle like he has the last 2 trips to Iowa, saying he'd love to carry that momentum at least to get to 9th in points, and so far so good. You mentioned it, Dylan. He's one of our biggest movers along with Kyle Sieg.
It's so interesting to me that he told you that he thought the last 2 wins had been luck, because last year, I mean, he had to go towards the back of the field, had to work his way back through. I thought he really was good last year, so it kind of surprised me that he had told you that.
Yeah, you probably have to know Sam Mayer to know that he's kind of self-deprecating like that a lot of the time. But I think for this team, if for whatever reason they were to miss the chase, they would not be the races like this one. It would be that slew of races through the first portion of the season. There was mechanical failures, there was crashes, there was everything that could go wrong has gone wrong. I think for them to be in the position they are and have a bit of a buffer is, in a lot of respects, have been a good performance by them. And I agree with his strategy. At that point, you just go as hard as you can on the offensive and try to get to victory lane like you would any other week, and hopefully the points work out for you.
Well, if you've been tuned into the NASCAR news cycle this week, you may have seen this rule update that came down midweek. And as we approach closer to the end of 10 laps here in stage 1, worth reminding you of this, that when a caution flies within the final 10 laps of stage 1 or stage 2, that's the end of the stage. The thought process behind this is just to try to encourage more green flag racing, less time between the stages. And so this rule has come into effect this week for all 3 of NASCAR's national divisions.
No doubt the caution will fall with 11 laps to go one time today. Hey, one thing to keep in mind as we see the restart, Allgaier, who was 3rd, did not take the front row. He elected to be 2nd row outside. Parker, we talked about it in qualifying. The outside has just dominated these restarts. So interesting take. We'll have to see late in the race what they decide to do.
And we saw a lot of drivers do this last year late in the race, and it did work out for them.
Garrett Smithley got the free pass on this caution flag, and the field is headed into the Poet restart zone. We'll go back to green with 27 to go in stage 1. Sieg gets a good push there in the outside lane from Justin Allgaier and leads into 1.
See Allgaier get the nose a little bit to the outside, just trying to get a good line up here. Oh, he gets loose as well. Both those cars, Chastain and Allgaier, loose in the middle of 1 and 2.
And Sam Mayer with probably the restart of the day. Went 3 wide to the bottom, made out like 3 or 4 positions. Is going to be knocking on the door of the top 5 here. Look at these cars all on top of each other. 3 JRM cars, 3 wide.
Mayer did that exact same thing to gain a bunch of spots late in the race last year, but here is that Junior Motorsports trio inside the top 5. Quapple there in the 5th spot. Allgaier 2nd, Chastain 3rd, Creed 4th. Throw a blanket over all of them there.
Yeah, and Creed's put himself. Oh, he got. Oh,
Jesse Love is off the pace.
Into the wall, the outside of 2.
Had been on the move, started in the 11th spot and was inside there the top 6 or 7 spots.
He'll have to feel this out. See if he has a flat tire from that contact.
Oh, maybe a transmission problem.
I think he said it came out of 4th gear. It won't stay in 4th gear.
Yeah, he seems to be back up to speed now, but lost all of that track position.
They slow again. Yeah, it won't stay in.
So they can give him a bungee cord. It's kind of the only way. He can try to hold it in and drive with his left hand until we get to the caution. He's going to have.
Oh, now it's going to go around on him here. Middle of 3 and 4.
Wow.
No yellow yet. He will get to pit road. So they'll diagnose exactly what the issue is on the 2 here.
Stay in 4th gear. Could you not put it in 4th gear? When I put it in 4th gear, the second I get back in the gas, in the middle of the corner, it spits back into 3rd gear. It won't stay in 4th gear, even when I'm holding it.
So that's the conversation between Jesse and crew chief Danny Stockman. Here's the restart. as the field is coming up through the gears. And more issues now for the 2. I don't think he even stopped in his pit box.
Oh, so maybe this is what gave Sam the big run he had here. You can see the 2 checks up that inside lane.
Well,
also, Jesse just rolled through because I think basically they're saying just run around the best you can. Right now, there's nothing they can do for him.
And this was the half spin in turn 4.
Well, and he said the thing kept going to 3rd gear, actually.
Oh, and now salt in the wound. He got a speeding penalty.
Wow.
So it is unraveled here the last lap and a half or so for the 2 team.
And just to unpack a little bit what Danny was saying, you know, what they're trying to diagnose is in this situation where sometimes this happens with these transmissions, they start to have issues. You can physically hold it or try to hold it in 4th gear with your right hand and just drive the car. They'll eventually give you a bungee cord or something to try and hold it there. You'd be terrible on restarts because it won't, you know, obviously can't use the other gears. But what he's saying is even when he was trying to hold it, it's popping out when you actually use the accelerator and put load on that. So bigger issue.
Let's hear exactly what Jesse Love had to say to Danny here.
Okay, well, we don't have nothing to do to fix that. You just got to hold it, I guess.
So the one thing that you can hear the frustration from Stockman, he's like, we don't have any way to fix that right now. So they came in to try to pit, they sent him back out. But Parker, the thing to me that's weird is normally when they pop out of gear, they go to neutral. He said it was going to 3rd gear, which I wonder if is that what caused him to spin? Did it go to 3rd gear and over rev the engine? I don't know. It's a unique situation right here, and obviously the hits just keep coming for the 2 car right now.
And he just came back down and did not stop in the box again. So not sure if that was him trying to serve the penalty there for the speeding. I think that's what that was, and maybe just a miscommunication there about what he needed to do. Either way, you see the crew there left side of the screen running back to the garage to try to figure out what options are available for the 2 team here just to try to salvage any sort of day that they can here. And now the 2's going to go behind the wall. So it has all gone wrong for the driver that was fastest in practice and maybe had the car to beat today. All good for Ryan Sieg out front. Welcome back to the NASCAR O'Reilly Auto Parts Series on the CW. Dylan Welch, Jamie McMurray, Parker Kligerman in the broadcast booth, Kim Kuhn and Chris Wilner on pit road. Getting a look at Jesse Love back in the garage area. Chris told us during the break that they are going to attempt to change the transmission on that car. So it is going to be a tough day for the 2 team for sure. And somebody who was coming into this race 3rd in points that is going to lose a few spots of his own because of these problems.
It's interesting because for years, people left that bungee cord in the car and never needed it, but just in case, you look in and you have this beautiful race car, then there's a 99-cent Harbor Freight bungee cord sitting in there just in case you need it, because there was a time when it seemed like every 4 or 5 races somebody had to have that. You don't hear of it much anymore. The fact, though, that they had to go to the garage so quick tells me it's probably a bigger issue than just popping out of gear.
Yeah, the whole mechanism has an issue. Something broke in the linkage. Oh, wow.
Speaking of points, Jeremy
Brent
Clements
Cruz
worked to the inside of Brent Cruz, but he was racing right around Taylor Gray and Raja Caruth, who are all racing for that final spot in the chase standings. This is a race for 11th, 12th, 13th, and 14th on the racetrack. And as we cross the 10 to go marker in stage 1, reminder, a caution between now and the end of the scheduled distance at lap 60 will bring this stage to a close.
Jeremy Clements wheeling that 51 car. That was fast in practice, fast in qualifying. Doing a great job. They've had a lot of speed as of late.
Yeah, and as we look at all these teams that from Haas factory team, whether it's the leader Ryan Sieg, Jeremy Clements, who are riding with here, or Creed or Mayer, all those cars have really good speed all weekend.
Jesse Love is out of the car in the garage area. Let's hear from him now with Chris.
Yeah, Dylan, and his team is feverishly working to make that transmission change. So, Jesse, any warning before the transmission issue there?
No, not really. I just remember the restart. I got up to 4th gear, and then it spit out, and I thought I kind of had to grind it back in. Maybe that hurt it, but every lap after that, it just kept coming out of 4th gear, and I wasn't able to hold it in. So, yeah, I don't really know.
Jesse Love, his team again going to make a complete transition change. They have it up on jack stands now, going to take the shifter out. We've got a crew member in the right side window as well. So a lot of work going on for a driver that's bleeding some points here in the early going.
Yeah, and this is going to mark their 3rd straight finish outside the top 15. So as important as momentum is this time of year, not the way you want to head into the chase. Meanwhile, up front, close as the battle for the lead has been since this restart, Justin Allgaier reeling in Ryan Sieg at the front.
And look at the line that Allgaier's running, just slightly higher. I don't know that he's significantly faster than Sieg. Sieg had a really bad lap just a few moments ago. As you see right now, the 07 being kind of in Sieg's line where he wants. Could play into Allgaier's favor, just the timing of these guys getting bogged down. He'll get a little bit of a draft down this long front stretch. Gonna mess up both of their angles. Into turn 1. Ooh, you saw
him to get real close.
Yeah.
Allgaier's won 7 stages already this year, trying to go for number 8 here with 4 laps to go this time by for your top 2.
But that preferred line you see right there is kind of splitting the seam on both ends of the racetrack, and it's so hard. We've seen it all race long. You can get to the inside of guys, but completing that pass is so much harder. And if I'm in Allgaier's position, I'm just looking at these lap cars and what can I do for a pick? You know, when you're the guy in second, you have a few more choices than the leader.
And I think Justin actually has a stronger car than Sieg. Sieg's been out in clean air this entire time. Justin's made passes. He looks to the outside. If he gets that right rear, it's game over. That would just hand him the positions. Ryan Sieg has to do whatever he can to protect that right rear, but definitely Justin's looking ahead to that traffic and thinking, where do I want to be when we get there? And hopefully Ryan makes the wrong choice.
Now Allgaier looks to the inside, got to the left rear, but Sieg able to get the power down out of 2.
You got to be so careful if you're Allgaier, though, sneaking to the outside because of how high Ryan Sieg's already running. When you get above where that new asphalt is, it gets really slick. And this track, we call it a short track, but it's extremely fast, too. So when things go wrong, it's bad here.
Carson Ware
just
gets
up there.
lap cars. Yep,
Just
boy,
like
you
you were
called that.
saying.
Yeah.
Well,
that'll be it. Allgaier loses all that ground he made up.
It's like you know what you're talking about. Well done.
Sieg working his way through this slower traffic at the back of the field. Allgaier not giving up,
it's not
though. He's
over.
reeling back in
Look at
pretty
this.
quick.
Look at
yeah,
that momentum.
Sieg's been bogged down big time. Allgaier's licking his lips back here, ready to pounce again.
He went all the way to the top of that patch once again. 1 and 2.
That diamond move worked pretty well for him.
Oh, he's so sideways on the exit of 2 right here. Looked like he was all the way out of it a second ago and is now, because of these lap cars, put himself back in position.
Well done. Ryan Sieg starts from the pole, leads every lap and wins stage 1, his first stage win since August of 2024 at Michigan. Justin Allgaier, Sheldon Creed, Ross Chastain, and Sammy Smith, the top 5 finishers in stage 1. 39 has been fast all day long, and they deliver with race pace as well. Good start to the day for Ryan Sieg and company. NASCAR on the CW is brought to you by Golden Corral. Golden Corral honors our nation's heroes. Progressive Insurance. Get in the savings lane today. Visit progressive.com. And by Toyota. Let's go places. Back at Iowa, stage 1 in the books. This stage break is brought to you by Arby's. Ryan Sieg getting it done. First time in a couple of years. He sees the green and white checkered first. Justin Allgaier, Sheldon Creed, Ross Chastain, and Sammy Smith. Top 5. Sam Mayer did a nice job there, up 15 spots from the start to pit from the 6th spot. And William Sawalich there getting a valuable stage point or 2, finishing 10th.
Sieg did an awesome job holding off Allgaier at the end of that. Going to be up to his pit crew now to hopefully just maintain where they're at. A lot of pressure on these guys when you come in after winning a stage.
And this pit road is tricky. It's got that curve at the pit exit that can prove challenging for the drivers at that section of pit road. Got to be perfect here. And the field will head down Progressive Pit Road, and we start our coverage with Kim Kuhn.
And Dylan, to Jamie's point, as we look at stage 1 winner Ryan Sieg right there, crew chief Matt Noyes told me the one place they felt they could be stronger was their pit crew. They have about a 12th place pit crew, so they were hoping just to maintain here today. Ryan, though, free in, lost a little bit of turn, but decent exit, nothing major, so no big adjustments. Right front air out of that tire to help this turn and get it lasting a little bit longer, Chris.
Middle of your screen, finishing second in the stage is Justin Allgaier. Crew already to work. He said the biggest deal was I was free on the extremities and then tight in the middle. They're going to make an air pressure adjustment. Track bar is going to go down a half round. And then Sheldon Creed in that #1 pit stall didn't drive through it, did a great job. He's down and away with 4 Goodyear tires, Sunoco fuel. Said it was just tight on exit.
Here's the race off of Progressive Pit Road. Sheldon Creed's crew doing a nice job to gain him a bunch of spots. Ryan Sieg's crew, unfortunately, going the opposite way. That's the race off pit road. We'll go back green in a minute. Test your luck and make your power play by heading to your local lottery retailer, to get in the game for tonight's estimated Powerball jackpot of $856 million. Thought of winning that. Had me all flustered.
Wow, me too. I'm looking at that number too, and I was like, wait, is that a typo?
My
Almost
word.
$1 billion.
Make a stop on the way home, I think. Get a ticket or two.
I definitely will be.
Yeah.
See you guys later.
Well, so we talked about the challenges of pit road here at Iowa, and we had several issues with several drivers at the front of the field, starting with Brent Cruz, who missed his pit stall. And this is right in the section of pit road that we talked about. Pit out, where that curve is. It's hard to just know where you're going, Parker.
Yeah, and this isn't like in your road car where you see a turn, you think, oh, you just look to the left or whatever. A race car, you have a headrest around you, have the Hans device, you can't really move. The A-post is large. They're not designed for you to see around a tight curve like this. So being a rookie, young driver, first time maybe experiencing a curve pit stop like this, just completely misses his stall, isn't able to see it or get in correctly, end up blocking the 7 of Justin Allgaier a little bit. Just a great learning experience for Brent Cruz here as he continues that learning here in the O'Reilly Series.
And interesting enough, the 7, because he didn't win the race off pit road, look at that. He ended up lining outside the second row. We talked about how important that outside is. We've seen him get a better launch. Also through 1 and 2, the inside is a struggle. But Sammy Smith gave a great opportunity for him, who was in third, to be on the front row.
Ryan Sieg's team as well lost a couple spots. No issue, just a little bit of a slower stop for them, so he'll restart in the 7th spot. Field working their way back through the Poet restart zone, back to green in stage 2.
Sammy Smith does a great job on the inside. You see 3 wide right there.
That's Sam Mayer again with that move down into 1, just going to the bottom, shortcutting the corner and hoping to make up positions.
Sammy Smith into 2nd, does a great job. Allgaier was not able to maintain the speed.
Mayer's still going to work down there on the bottom.
That's 3 wide.
Oh, contact behind.
Everybody sorts it out and gets away from each other somehow.
That was Ross Chastain. That was super sideways in front of a 3 wide again.
They're running out of room down there. Hill on the inside trying to get away. This is a race for the 10th spot. Anthony Alfredo there in the 96, Taylor Gray in the 54, Ross Chastain in the 9.
Oh, Jeff Burton right there, just all over Anthony Alfredo, who's trying to find a hole to get in.
Meanwhile, back up front here, Justin Allgaier trying to fend off a hard-charging Sam Mayer. Mayer started 23rd. Gained a few spots there in stage 1. These guys still aren't done. This is the same group that has been trying to sort things out here from about 10th through 15th.
Alfredo has been 3 wide, whether it's in the middle or the outside, since the restart. As he continues the battle, there's Brendan Poole in the bottom, Dean Thompson in the middle, Star Poli's out there. And every driver's pushing so hard because they know how hard it is to pass once you get in the longer run. Brent Cruz trying to make up some positions here as he comes back from that pit road incident or issue.
Yeah, Cruz already picking off a few here since this restart. Knows he's got a fast car, but just looking for an open lane here. Alfredo finally gets away. Thompson does briefly as well. That's Brendan Poole on the inside in the 44 with Cruz in the middle.
What a dogfight. Brent Cruz looked like he was in the perfect position to get like 4 cars going into turn 1 on the last lap, but because of the angle and where he entered, he lost all that momentum on exit. Ended up losing over half those spots back.
This is 18th, 19th, 20th, right around in that range here.
This could have been bad.
Looking
right
4
here.
wide here at the exit of 2 potentially, and somehow everybody keeps it going the right direction.
That's when the spotter gets tongue-tied. Doesn't quite know what to say in those moments.
Good stuff here. This place at Iowa, it always delivers. Plenty of options for the drivers. And now we got one spun around to the front of the field. It's Kyle Sieg.
Come on, keep going. Yellow, yellow.
He backed it in.
He did.
I'll tell you what, though, he did the same exact thing in qualifying and didn't have any issues. So the butt face car gets away without a scratch.
Chester's had some moments today.
No, I don't think the talk is good because I think everyone's trying to jack someone off the bottom and everyone just moved up in front of us. Happened to Harrison, happened to me, like, I don't know.
Sieg was 22nd at the time of this spin, so right there in the mix of all those cars we were showing on the screen.
Yeah, Kyle's had good speed today. He was 6th in practice earlier today. Comes out of that Haas factory team.
Spun on his 2nd lap in qualifying. So
in 3 and 4.
In 3 and 4.
So he's got it in 1 and 2 this time. Yep.
But you know what? Put tires on, regroup, go back and get him again.
That was that bump you have on the entry into 1. Just got the car loose under the brakes. Got away from him.
Never quit driving it. Saves his race car for the 2nd time today. Under caution for the 2nd time here. at Iowa. Let's take a look at our golden moment brought to you by Golden Corral. It's our third caution of the day, and this time involves Kyle Sieg in the 28, in the middle of 1 and 2, keeps it out of the wall.
Kyle Sieg is living right. 2 spins in 1 day and no contact. There's something right.
From the Demco onboard here with Ryan Ellis. Yes, could have been a lot worse twice today for the 28 team, but able to drive it back to pit road, put a new set of tires on it, and continue on his way.
That is the most calm we have seen the steering wheel all day long. Ryan Ellis has had his hands full inside of that car today.
Running 28th right now is the 02. He always has bright colored steering wheels. They're blue sometimes. This one's red, obviously, to match the car.
He thinks through every little detail in that sense. He's a hustler.
Allgaier, again, in third, chose the outside.
And if you have Sammy Smith behind you, Sammy Smith has Sam Mayer behind him, be wary.
Yeah, watch Sam Mayer, second row inside. He's made it 3 wide every single time on whoever's in front of him right here.
And there he goes.
Field works through the Poet restart zone, back to green here on lap number 80. Mayer again goes to work right away around the bottom of 1 and 2. They scramble behind him for 5th on back.
Man, look at Carson Quaffle get to the outside right there of Corey Day. Great momentum on the exit of the corner. The restarts have just been crazy all day today, 3-4 wide.
And that didn't work for Sam Mayer. Ryan Sieg was able to get to the outside of him. Remember, led every lap in stage 1, had a bad pit stop, is fighting back from that. And he gets by Sam Mayer.
Yeah, know that car is good for the 39. Just got to keep fighting all day today for track position after the pit stops. This battle resumes again from about the 15th spot on back. Taylor Gray there in 14th. Raja Caruth and Jeff Burton racing for a spot inside the top 15. Now here's the battle for the lead.
Oh,
this is off of
7.
4.
He's sliding that car. Got back to the power, put like a 4-wheel drift on, just trying to catch it.
Sheldon Creed out front with his hands full here. Justin Allgaier, Sammy Smith, now Sieg on the move again, challenging Smith for that 3rd spot with Mayer in tow.
That inside pass is so hard to do when everyone has grip on the first few laps of these tires. Almost got to wait till that pace slows down a little bit. Allgaier.
And if you're Justin, you know how good your car was on the long run in stage one. That's when he really put the pressure on. Ryan Sieg was late in that run, just towards the end of the stage. He's looking the bottom right now, but I think he's doing two things, just taking care of that car, taking care of the tires, a little cleaner air. If Sheldon makes a mistake or slips up, he'll be there to take advantage of it, but not pushing too hard.
What about Sieg back behind this? Fell back during those pit stops. He's had a couple of restarts. Has put himself back in a good position as a fast car. I saw him working to the outside, a little bit of Sammy Smith right here. This is the line he ran that whole first stage and went on to win.
Oh, this
right
is tight
of the
on the
screen.
right.
Yeah, this is another good battle. Patrick Staropoli, they're running in the 20th spot. Jeremy Clements in the mix as well as they race for position. Oh, Brandon Jones up the racetrack into Carson Quapple, nearly opens the door for Sawalich.
Gosh, these guys all have their hands full today. You see
This
Ross
is great.
Chastain.
Wow, look, did you see Carson Quapple there? I don't know if Chastain got into him, but he was way
push.
sideways.
Yeah, gave him a massive push. Is now you see Cruz getting to the outside of Ross Chastain. Saw Cruz miss his pit stall earlier. Kind of in that preferred lane where that momentum can be, but you got to be careful not to get too high. We saw Allgaier do that earlier.
I think that was a veteran move by Ross Chastain and the Joe Gibbs Racing sandwich to back out of it down into 3.
Or just put yourself right back in
into 3 wide, I guess. I don't know if he planned that one as Raja Caruth goes to the bottom, made it 3 wide. He's trying to make up positions. His race has kind of gone awry since just lap 1, turn 1.
This is great stuff here. Sawalich there at the head of this pack running 9th. Quapple right there in the 8th spot. Cruz behind him. Couple guys on the bubble battle here, the 19 and the 18. Meanwhile, left of the screen, look at Allgaier. He's got a fender to the left rear, Creed.
Yeah, and I think Creed's content with him having that. Just he's like, you can have the inside, knowing that he's going to have the momentum on the exit of these corners. Oh, he's got to be so careful right there.
He's not going to appreciate that.
You run out of room real quick at the exit of these corners just because of the shape of this racetrack.
I like what Allgaier's doing here, trying to get to the outside. You get to the right rear quarter, that pass is over. Creed's going to know that, though. These two guys are savvy, and this is what makes racing so fun, is trying to position yourself where they don't think you're going to be.
And if you're Sheldon, you are content with letting Justin go down there, but the risk is exactly what we saw there in the exit 4 the lap prior. He packs that air on your left rear, gets you loose, and suddenly shoves you out of the groove as Justin gets to the bottom, tries to slide up. That's real loose.
Well, and you're going to race the way, you know, whoever you're racing, you're going to race them a little bit differently. Creed's going to know that Allgaier's really clean, right? They've raced each other a lot. You get somebody underneath you like a Britt Cruz, let's say, that doesn't have as much experience. You probably don't want them on your inside just because they haven't been in that position as many times as what these two have been. This is a lot of fun to watch, just seeing them all trying to position themselves the right place at the right time.
And these two giving each other just enough room, not any more than necessary, but to your point, the trust is there between these two veterans of this series, and they are putting on a show here halfway through stage 2.
Oh, and it's bringing in the next 3. They're all starting to run them back down.
Want to make a quick note, too. Austin Hill, who has been quiet all day, is on the charge, up to the 6th spot, up 22 since the start of the day. They were not happy with their race car in practice and qualifying, but Chad Haney and company have gone to work. And the 21 is carrying the torch here for RCR this afternoon.
I feel like you read my mind. I was just about to go down that path as I looked at the time he scored, and I saw Austin Hill 6th. Where did he come from? He has just methodically worked his way forward, had made up a ton of positions in stage 1, made up positions on pit road and on these restarts, and finds himself just outside the top 5. But that is a really impressive run to be up 22 spots, Kim.
Yeah, and Dylan mentioned practice. They were completely off, just tight, chattering through the entire run during practice. Talked to crew chief Chad Haney after and said, we were kind of scratching our heads, went back to our baseline. So everything we did in practice, we took some very big swings and said, in fact, he said like a 20-point swing, which is just so aggressive when you're talking about adjustments on cars. Went back to what they unloaded. Austin right now said he fires off good. He's just trying to make it live. They did focus on entry and exit with their adjustments during the last stop.
Allgaier's going to go. Just about got there.
That was about as close as you could get to not hitting the wall, I think, for the 7 car.
But if you're the 00, you just want to move up just a little bit because you can see the out of bounds. Even though there's more racetrack above where you see the newer strip of asphalt, that is the grip. You get above where that newer strip is, there is no grip. So you kind of have an out of bounds without a wall being there. Justin's clearly faster than he is.
And now uses a side draft into turn one. He's going to try and shortcut the corner here, slide up in front of Sheldon. He does that.
Oh,
he
he
goes
missed
too
the corner.
high.
Overshot it and hands the lead right back to Creed.
All
Brings
that
Sammy
work.
Smith into the mix as well.
All that work erased. Done so much there over the last 2 or 3 laps. He'll probably get back there pretty quickly considering the speed of his race car, but Sheldon, I have to think, maybe had a bit of a chuckle to think, yeah, well, that didn't quite work for you, buddy.
Great stuff at the front, dropping a little further back. This is the race for the 8th spot between Joe Gibbs' teammates. William Sawal with him, the sound gear on board. Looking back at Brett Cruz.
Make sure you're staying focused out that windshield here. Let's hit our marks and go catch another car, too.
These two both racing for the bubble spot, as we've talked about. And here's Jesse Love back onto the racetrack after those transmission challenges early in the day.
You know, to go back and hit on, Kim was talking about Austin Hill. It's almost unheard of to be that far off and to be able to make adjustments to your car and get back to the speed that they have with Austin Hill. When I saw where they practiced, where they qualified, you're like, it's just going to be a bad day for the 21. But that's an awesome job to make those changes, and that the car is responding to what they need. Because ultimately, you've kind of made your bed when you get here with the setup you've chosen. There's not a lot of changes that they can make. So great job to them.
This is a look back at the race for the lead. Allgaier gets a good run here out of turn number 4, and he'll make the pass into turn 1, but
yeah, he didn't lift till he got to the next county was the problem. He had too much speed.
Well, he did a couple things there. One, you'll side draft aggressively here. As we talk about this being a fast short track, you can side draft, and then you'll overdrive and shortcut that corner. Do both those things, you end up like he did, overdriving it.
racing is always fun here at Iowa. The top 2 putting on a show. back at Iowa, working our way to the end of stage 2. Justin Allgaier out front. It's time for the Let 'em Cook replay presented by Graza, the official olive oil and mayonnaise of NASCAR, that'll show us how the 7 took the lead for good, at least for now, in this great battle with the 00.
Well, Sheldon Creed finally had a slip up in front of, after being hounded by Justin lap after lap. It seemed like the entirety of this stage. He did slip up there, and the one just got a little bit loose and allowed Justin to slip by and start to drive away from Sheldon Creed. I think for Sheldon's team, they get to the end of this stage, they're going to be looking at what adjustment can we make to be as competitive as that against that 7 later in the run. I think early on they're pretty evenly matched, but it's this later in the run that they have to be better.
And he has driven away. That lead already over a second for Allgaier over the 00. We flash back a little bit deeper in the field. This is a race for 11th. Ross Chastain and Carson Kvapil. Taylor Gray there in the mix as well in the 54. Raja Caruth ahead of them in 10th. In a good spot as someone who needs some stage points. And boy, the bubble, it's been so funny to watch because all the guys that are racing each other in points have been around each other pretty much all day today.
Yeah, they found each other early on in this race and have not really separated between Caruth, Sawalich, Gray. They're all just right on top of each other throughout this first portions of the race.
And today's so important because we have 2 weeks off, then go to Daytona before the reset occurs. So you don't want to go to Daytona needing to be a hero of any sort. The more you can pad your buffer here, the better you're going to feel.
You want to go to Daytona mathematically in.
Right.
Yeah. So
yeah, these guys that are clinched.
To be an extra race that you can go enjoy and not worry about points. And when you have 2 weeks off as a driver on that cutoff line, you just don't enjoy any of that time that you're supposed to be relaxing. You're stressed out about your whole season being on, making this chase.
These two racing for 12th now. Kvapil in the 1, Gray in the 54. Chastain's gotten away from them. And a reminder, 8 to go here, under 10 to go in the second stage. Caution comes out, will end the stage.
And Ross has had to fight back from slow moment on pit road and then was part of that sort of bar fight brawl of cars that were all 3 wide for many laps in a row and kind of got swallowed up in that and had to fight his way back, but he was the fastest car on the racetrack the last lap, so still has some speed that night if they can get more track position.
Brent Cruz is another one who's had some ground to make up after a tough pit stop at the end of stage 1. For more on the 19, let's check in with Chris.
Yeah, he's certainly having a nice rebound after that pit stop, Dylan, as our Toyota driver update focuses on Brent Cruz. Still complaining about a loose race car. Sluggish in the corner and really boggy on exit, but having to charge through as he makes the pass here momentarily for 7th on Austin Hill. He wanted to be aggressive today. He kind of knew where they were starting in the 18th position. He was going to have to get up on the wheel and make something happen. He did so and has had to do it again after the most recent round of pit stops. So they're hoping to make another round of adjustments to get that car tightened up just a little bit, but the longer the run goes, Brent's starting to come to just a little bit, still a little bit loose all around the racetrack.
Up to the 7th spot now as he does get around Austin Hill. There's some stage points coming their way if they can hold on here over the final 5 laps in stage 2. On board with Sawalich, he's in 9th, looking out the front at the RCR teammates, Austin Hill and then Jesse Love, who's back on the racetrack but 60 laps down.
Yeah, and we talked about Austin Hill just overcoming the struggles they had in qualifying, but as this run goes on and on, you kind of get exposed to the handling, the real handling of your car. I think he's done an exceptional job as a driver on the restarts and has put them in a better position, but you can see it just looks like that car's not turning the way Austin wants it to, so they're going to want this brake to take one more swing at it and see if they can get it right for this long green flag run we can have here in the final stage.
Chastain's fallen back into the clutches of the 1 car here. Carson trying to get him moved up out of the racing groove that he's in. These 3 racing for 11th. Oh, wow. Ross was sideways. He was driving it a long way off the corner there.
Yeah, Carson's tried to make this pass on the bottom and just cannot get the momentum, carry the momentum around the corner that he needs. He's in that, Ross is in the preferred lane. You see all these guys at the end of these runs, how much the back of the car is moving around as they try to put the throttle down on exit, just sliding around.
Leaves the bottom for the 54 of Gray, trying to sneak through there.
Oh, it's getting tight right there on the exit.
Try to use the move we saw Justin Allgaier attempt to use down into 1 to get the lead earlier. Doesn't quite clear Ross, and now they can be side by side. That allows the outside to have the outside momentum, and now you're stuck there on the inside beside the 9.
The 1 doing a nice job, though, being disciplined, not overdriving the entry, being able to stay right on the bottom. But as Parker said, you just have so much momentum when you're on the outside all the way down these pretty long straightaways.
Junior Motorsports racing for the 11th spot right of the screen, but out of 4, their teammate Justin Allgaier, who went to the whip there once he got by Sheldon Creed, going to score the win in stage 2 by 2.5 seconds over Sheldon Creed. 8th stage win of the year for the 7 team, his 4th here at Iowa. And that battle for 11th sorts itself out there as we draw to a close here in stage 2. No surprise, the 7 has found their way back to the front. 6-time winner this year, looking for lucky number 7 here in Iowa. As we head into the next stage, it's time to fuel up with Arby's new Angus cheesesteak with 100% Angus beef, melty Cooper cheese, and a toasted Amoroso's roll. It's exactly what you need to finish strong. Race to yours by texting RACE to 27297 to learn more and order in the Arby's app. Let's go down to Kim with an update on Ryan Ellis, presented by Demco.
Yeah, Dylan checked in with the team this weekend just to get an idea of where their season is now that the regular season's winding down. Remember, Young's Motorsports doing a 2-car full-time effort this season for the first time in that organization's history. They told me they felt like they started the season off strong, but then hit a pretty rough patch. They're getting back on track. Crew Chief Eddie Traconis told me 2026 has been all about building a notebook. He noted that this is a long-term building process where results might take a year or even 2 years to show up. Their big goal, though, is to capitalize better on opportunity races, including, they noted, when the series heads to Daytona in a few weeks.
Thanks, Kim. Pit stops right now at the end of stage 2. Progressive pit road is open, and we'll go back to Kim.
Yeah, Sammy Smith, top of your screen, tight there towards the end of that run, on edge landing entry, he said, but overall long run not bad, so they won't take a big swing, just an air pressure adjustment. They'll stick to that small change this time, but Chris, next time, if they need a bigger change, they will take a swing at it.
Oh, Kim, Justin Allgaier doesn't need a ton, as the stage winner is already in his pit box. Said the last adjustment on the last round of stops was money on the long run. Don't change a thing, just need a little help of turn on the short run. Also in is Sheldon Creed, won the race off pit road last time. Said I made a mistake in a 1, but I'm a little edgy still with the rears as they exit pit road. A little slow stop though on the 00.
Race off Progressive pit road. 7 boys doing their job. Come in with the race lead, leave with the race lead. Sheldon Creed and Sammy Smith, good pit stops as well. Harvest time just around the corner in the Midwest. Corn is standing tall here in Iowa and providing a great backdrop for racing here in the Hawkeye State. NASCAR on the CW is brought to you by O'Reilly Auto Parts, your professional parts people. Progressive, save when you bundle motorcycle, RV, and boat insurance. Visit progressive.com. And by Ace, the helpful place. We got that great report from Kim earlier on Ryan Ellis and Demko. And Farm Rescue, they're the only nonprofit organization of its kind that provides farm and ranch families with the operational support they need in times of crisis. Scan the QR code on the screen to learn how you can join Demco and Farm Rescue in providing critical assistance to keep family farms moving. Coming back to green here at Iowa for the final stage, we'll have 121 laps to go as the field works through the Poet restart zone. Justin Allgaier, the race leader, chooses the outside lane with Sammy Smith behind him. Back to green at Iowa, and Allgaier out to a good jump.
He did, and if you look at his teammate, Sammy Smith, we haven't talked a lot about Sammy, but he's running the top 3 all day long. He's had a great car. He's been really aggressive on a lot of these restarts. Get a long run right here. Don't count him out.
Everybody sorts it out towards the front. 1 and 2 nose to tail, resuming their battle again. Battle for third. Sam Mayer inside of Sammy Smith.
I think we got to give some props to Sieg's pit crew, too. They came in, did a nice job, only lost a position or 2 that last stop after the issue they had on the first pit stop. The 39s had a great car all day long, going to get a great finish here.
He's trying to work there to Corey Days. Sam Mayer to check up. They got to the back of him pretty quickly. If Corey Days looking maybe the outside of Sam Mayer, trying to get there.
Dude, Corey Day is getting a massive run on the exit of these corners. Mayer slides up in front of him right here.
That had to be very tight between those two at the exit. The trajectory they were both on through the center of the corner.
And everybody goes to the bottom, so some clean air in that middle lane for the 17 as he tries to fend off the 39 and go back to work on the 41 of Mayer.
On the left side of your screen, you've seen Sheldon Creed trying to work over Allgaier. I felt like Sheldon was maybe better on the shorter run there in stage 2. It was on the long run that Justin Allgaier really came to life, so Sheldon's got to try and make something happen or take care of that race car better than he did in stage 2.
It looked like Alfredo had a massive moment on the right-hand side. Dean Thompson got into the back of him.
Carson Quapple, Ross Chastain battling again. They have been attached all day today. This is a race for 10th.
It's just flip-flopped right now. The one's in front of the 9, but in the same position.
Brett Cruz just in front of them. Raja Caruth out the back windshield. Cruz going to work on Sawalich. This is the race for 8th. Sound gear on board.
Still outside. Stewie.
Cruz with the momentum in that outside lane. Does Sawalich leave him enough room? He does. Cruz will take the spot at the line. Way up the track.
Yeah, he was working the top, probably just stepped over that line just a little bit. We saw it happen to Allgaier earlier in the race. Just got to regroup here, get your tires cleaned off.
That's not surprising that Corey Day would maybe push the groove as high as possible. We saw him win a race at Dover doing that, going higher than anyone I think thought was possible. Here just doesn't pay off the way you'd hope. Once you get out of that newer asphalt, there's just not the same level of grip.
Yeah, and the 17 looks really loose on entry. You watch as we ride on board with William Sawalich. He's pinching off the entry. You see he's not real aggressive on the entry. He's also pinching it off just a little bit. Tells me he can't really pull on the steering wheel.
Cruz gets the spot. Goes to 7th. Day back to 8th. Sawalich in 9th.
See the 17 turns in just a little bit earlier, and then when they get to the middle of the corner, he washes up the racetrack. You'd like to take as late an entry as possible just so you can get the best angle on exit, make the straightaway a little bit longer, and carry all that momentum.
Great look here at all the different approaches that you can use to make a lap here at Iowa. Whatever you got to do some self-medicating with your race car, find some clean air, it's all up for grabs here. Day, by the way, when we're done here, head down the road to Knoxville and compete in the 360 Nationals with the Wing Sprint cars.
It's so much fun to watch. You see Corey Day in the 17. Right behind him, Sawalich turns in just a little bit lower. The next guy behind him, Chastain, runs higher. The next guy behind him, the one of Quapple, runs lower. Everybody's just trying to find clean air where they can get their car to make the most grip.
Sawalich has dialed up the inside lane here on Day, the race for 8th. Since the restart, Powerball Power Movers, couple guys on the move, including Ross Chastain in the 9. We see him here up 5 spots. They've had issues, I think, on pit road, both stops, slow stops if nothing else, that have buried them in traffic. Saw Ross at the front early in the day, but has had to dig out of a hole a couple times here this afternoon.
Oh, there's a nice visual for you.
And it's going to cost Day 2 spots here. Chastain goes by, and Quapple may get by him as well.
Yeah, I think it was a little bit of a slide job by the 18. Drove in there deep and then had to check up. Chastain had backed up his entry just a little bit, was able to get that run on the outside.
Quapple squeezed right in there, didn't he?
I think Corey's patience has run out slightly here. As we go on board with William Sawalich, this is how he gets the inside of Corey. And you mentioned it, Jamie, just sort of tried the slide job into one, slides up, and I think Corey thought, well,
he was
that was
already
a little close for my liking.
He was back in the gas already, but if you're Sawalich right, you got to go.
It's racing.
No, that's
you're doing what you got to do for you.
No harm, no foul. It's just you send a little tap and saying, hey, I didn't like that.
Quapple has seen enough of this, and he went ahead and drove around the 17 and the 18 and has moved into 9th. Here's the look at the bubble again, changing by the second. Sawalich in now by 1. That's another reason he needs to get as many spots as he can here, just to try to finish out what's been a solid day, quiet day, but has scored a few stage points and doing what he needs to do.
And really, they've been the winners, Sawalich and Gray, compared to Carruth, who qualified 4th, lost that out of turn 2 on the first lap, and has never recovered to really be in a position towards the front on a day he really needed to capitalize and make up points in those Joe Gibbs Racing teammates. Oh wow,
man.
Corey.
Thought he was going to get to the back bumper there of the 18. Not sure if he just overdrove that or was trying to get back to him, but close quarters racing here as we look at the 17 and the 88 race. Let's get an update on the 18 with Kim.
Yeah, William Sawalich has done a pretty good job today of just having a solid run, like Dylan mentioned. Earned a couple of stage points, although I talked to crew chief Jeff Mandering this morning. He said, you know, a couple of stage points is not going to guarantee us a spot in the chase. We have got to run it in front of all of the other guys around the bubble. They're doing that pretty much. Cruz is the only driver that's ahead of Sawalich right now, but things are not looking good balance-wise for William. Take a listen to the in-car audio courtesy of Starkey.
We'll work on the next opportunity here to stay after, do the best you can with it here.
So William Sawalich just trying to hold on here until they make that final pit stop of the day.
Well, I'm going to have to run over to Starkey because I couldn't quite hear what he said right there.
I'm glad you said it, because
I couldn't make it out what he said right there, but I think just a little bit of frustration.
Well, he said he was loose.
The HendrickCars.com car got ahead of the HendrickCars.com car, by the way, behind them.
It happens a lot in this series.
Glad we cleared that up. Allgaier leads at Iowa. Under caution at Iowa for the 5th time for an Anthony Alfredo spin. Chris Wilner, Brandon Jones is on pit road.
Yeah, one of the gambles, Dylan, here with about 99 laps to go, and they brought Brandon Jones in running just outside of the top 10. He said, this is the tightest we've been all day. I need an adjustment here and find a way to get through the center. Sam McCauley said they're going to take a pretty big swing at it as they send him back on his way. Now, the Toyotas are known to get a little bit more fuel mileage, so be curious here how this gamble pays off and kind of try to stretch run this to the end, but majority of the leaders feel like this caution came out just about a handful of laps too early.
Yeah, with 99 laps to go, it is right on the edge. And you got to be a big gambler if you try to go for it here. This is why we're under yellow. Anthony Alfredo, who is running 16th at the time. This is out of turn 4.
Yeah.
Single car spin.
Sounds like he might have had a tire going down. He had complained about it a little bit earlier in the run, and that's such a slow, lazy spin on the bottom, almost like he sensed that was getting ready to happen.
We got a little bit more info that maybe he even had a vibration in the right rear. Maybe, you know, didn't have all the lug nuts tight and felt like the rear was sort of falling out. So it might be more of a mechanical issue there for Anthony Alfredo.
Big gamble by Brandon Jones, though, and it'll, you know, it's 6 or 8 laps at fuel that he's going to have to save. Is it impossible? No.
Well, and as we get the 1 to go, I expect maybe he might come back down pit road, just top it up best you can there on that 20. If you want to go towards a fuel mileage, it would be really close.
And their spot is already clinched in the chase, so they're in a position to be able to go for it if they want to and go for the race win. We'll go back green at Iowa in a moment. Saying what a lot? Scan the QR code to take a short free online hearing test. Now let's listen into Starkey Radio Communications with Justin Allgaier and the 7 team.
Didn't need that one to come out for another 10 laps. Too far to tell you to save. Sorry, I can't do that to you.
Yeah, buddy, we're good. I knew it. I mean, at that point, it is what it is, right? I knew it.
Always be with the masses. Don't be on your own island. And fortunately for the 7, only 1 or 2 cars came down pit road.
Those Hendrick motors make a lot of power, but they probably get some of the worst fuel mileage in the series.
They drink a lot of fuel.
Field set for the Poet restart zone. Back to green with 95 to go at Iowa. Justin Allgaier resumes control at the front of the field, but here's Sammy Smith looking inside.
Sammy Smith's done a great job being on the inside all day long.
In the back there, the top 10, Roger Cruz put it 3 wide down to turn 1 using that move that Sam Mayer's used so often today. He got really tight down the center of 1 and 2, but he got away with it.
Creed's going to pull ahead of Sammy Smith right here off of turn 4. The 8 should be able to fall right in line right there, so no gain, no loss. You see Sieg up to 4th place right now. We talked about the great run he's had. Oh, it's going to get tight. Going to push the 1 up out of the groove.
Still not done with each other. 2 young guns going at it here. Brent Cruz in the 19, Quapple in the 1. Throw Roger Caruth there in the mix in the 88, trying for the 2 for 1.
Oh, there's no give right here. Wow. You see Brent once again gets into the inside of the
hang on, Sawalich. Oh my, look at him scatter down the front straightaway. Everybody gets away from it.
Man, you want to be on the inside in those instances when you're 2nd or 3rd up. You just get used up if the inside car overdrives that corner.
Carson Quapple is not going to be happy with Brent Cruz. That's multiple corners in a row that he gets up into his door, shoves him out of the groove. As Brendan Poole gives Harrison Burton a big boot there.
That was a good save by Harrison, too. Dean Thompson, his teammate, there to the inside.
Look at the positions. It's
Sawalich going to go around. Laying down some contact from somebody there. Keeps it off the wall, and everybody misses him.
This is going to play into Brandon
Jones is
favor.
licking his chops here. Yep, that is exactly how you draw it up if you're crew chief Sam McCauley. Maybe not because it's your teammate that goes around, but for their strategy, that worked perfectly.
Yeah. Great pit position, or track position now.
Sawalich was 19th after
Well, he
that
was
scuffle.
involved in all the mess that was happening with the 1 and the 19.
And you see how that impacts the point standings on the left of the screen. Crew chief Jeff Mendering there. It's kind of been the story of their year. They've had some really good runs, and it seems like when things go bad, it unravels quickly for this group, unfortunately. The car has been fast. If they can just get out of some of this mess, they'll be okay. So this is how it all started. This was maybe a lap or 2 before Sawalich even went around. Brent Cruz, Carson Quapple, Austin Hill, they're all racing together.
When Austin makes it 3 wide, right?
Yeah,
Spooks the 19 just a little bit. Right here, the 19's thinking he's clear. The 1's able to fight back on the outside, but then gets put 3 wide again with Roger Caruth being on the inside. Contact.
Right
you see
there.
The 18 right here is going to have to check up because of contact from Nick Sanchez on the inside, and that has just put him in a terrible position.
Tell you what, those guys all did a great job of looking out the front windshield and just aware of where everybody was at to not make that worse.
I mean, it just kept unfolding for William. Makes a great save right there, but has got him back in the pack and then ends up getting spun out after running.
And then this is
so good all day long.
Patrick Starpoli down into 1, just gets in the left rear of William Sawalich, spins him out.
You saw Jones drive by there on the apron.
I mean, the good news for the 18 is he doesn't really have any damage, put new tires on, but they have lost all their track position after running so well all day long.
Yeah, and as we said, they were back to 19th there because of all that mess and those battles with everybody right on top of each other. So big pit stop here, final scheduled one of the day. Justin Allgaier going to lead the field down to Progressive Pit Road, and Allgaier stays out. Everybody else, though, heads to pit road. Kim?
Including his teammate, Sammy Smith. Sammy saying the bounce good, just a little bit freer, needed more grip. He said, I don't want to be freed up anymore. So crew chief Corey Shea saying, we're going to go back on that last air pressure adjustment. We'll tighten you up just a little bit. Chris?
And Justin Allgaier opting to stay out. He told crew chief Andrew Overstreet and said, it's up to you, but we've got the best car right now. We're playing with house money, and I know that that'll keep the 20 of Brandon Jones for potentially making it on fuel. But on pit road's going to be Sheldon Creed, who opted to pit, said, I'm still needing to fix the middle of the corner and then the exit, and just need a little bit of security in the rear. 4 Goodyear tires and Sunoco fuel for Sheldon Creed.
Race off Progressive Pit Road. Creed will win that easily. 7 other cars stayed out, including Justin Allgaier. Interesting stuff. Interesting decision at the front of the field.
Who's going to be right?
We'll find out. Pit road was a busy place, but not for everybody. Let's take a look at this replay brought to you by Progressive. Save when you bundle motorcycle, RV, and boat insurance. Visit progressive.com. Allgaier faked us out up here. Mayer bailed out a line there as well. And as we said, 7 cars opted to not pit there. So the thought process, I think, is that you're still maybe too close on fuel. You don't feel like you can make it all the way without having to do a big save. Problem is now, I think, if you pit later, you're going to be buried in traffic. So let's hear some 7 radio and get their thought process.
We got, I don't know, it's up to you, I guess. At the end of the day, we got to do what's right, but we got house money, right? We got the best car here, and I can pass anybody. So you just got to decide what you want to do, and I'll make it work.
Well, I guess they feel like they can work through traffic.
He feels he can pass cars like that. He'll probably have that opportunity eventually here when they do come down pit road and have to drive back to the field.
Going to have some cautions.
Yep.
So
it's going to have to work out in their favor.
Field getting ready to go back through the Poet restart zone here. We'll watch Brandon Jones and Sheldon Creed, 7th and 8th. Those are the cars with the newest tires here as we go back to green. Mayer and Allgaier on the front row, both stayed out.
See, Justin gets getting that big run. See Mayer be so good on the bottom, but Seven mentioned it. They've had arguably the best car all day long. These restarts have just been wild once you get back to about 10th or 12th, and this one not disappointing as well. You see Brandon Jones, those newer tires. Ross Chastain, yeah, getting back to his inside. Ross has been in the middle, I feel like, on every restart all day long. See him just fighting for every position out there.
Caution behind you, caution behind you, caution behind you.
It's the 47, Carson Ware. 7th caution of the day with 84 to go. By the way, Sammy Smith was 3rd before those stops. He got dinged for speeding and had to go to the back. So that's why you don't see him at the front of the field. He's 26th right now.
And we just had this discussion on how close they can be. Well, these are just perfect scenarios. If you were close on fuel, you get to run 1 lap, run 4 or 5 more caution laps. It puts you in within your window. I have to wonder, the 7, like what they're thinking now with the way these cautions are falling. Is it playing in their favor or against them?
And for somebody like Brandon Jones, who pitted early kind of in this cycle, they were going to be close also. This helps them as well.
But Jones has lost his track position already. I mean,
right.
The way that was going to work out if he could have the track position, but you know, guys like Creed and Chastain, they're already cycled ahead of him. So, you know, he's on a little older tires, and he's lost a little bit of that track position. So not in the position that they want to be in, or we thought they were going to be in, the way the cautions had fallen.
He really lost his momentum there on the restart and just got sort of swamped, pushed to the outside a little higher than he wanted to be, and you lose that gain of having the track position that you had.
Yeah, and the one thing, you know, is I was saying with when Allgaier stayed out earlier, is you kind of want to be with the masses. You don't want to be on your own island, and they were in that position initially, but now they you know, Sam Mayer and Allgaier, they've kind of went against the field. And you know, from our perspective up here, I just don't see this being a place that you're going to be able to drive through the field in a limited amount of laps.
So this was an odd moment here that caused the yellow. That's Jesse Love. He's 60 laps down. Remember, had the transmission issue. Goes to the bottom there into 1 on the restart. Locks up the left front. Gets into the side there of Carson Ware and spins him out.
Tyler Tomasi there in the 53 doing a nice job to avoid the 47 careening out of control into turn 1 there. Anthony Alfredo going to get the free pass on this yellow. Had that spin earlier in the flat tire. So put your crew chief hat on then here. When do you pit if you're Allgaier or Mayer or one of those guys that stayed out? Well, tell you what, we're gonna save your expert opinion and hear from the actual expert. Let's get Andrew Overstreet's thoughts. He calls the shots for Justin Allgaier, and he's with Chris.
Yeah, heck of a strategy call. So let's find out. Okay, so when do you pit? You opted to stay out there, you and Sam Mayer. So at what point is kind of the go time here to hit pit road?
I feel like if we can get another 20, 25 laps on the tires, it'll be right for us. Justin knows that we have an amazing precision build Ranch Chevrolet, and we don't want to come too early and then have someone else get us at the end because I got fresher tires. So I trust my driver to make that call, and I was good either way. So we'll just get out here and try to make the most of it. It's just great to see that we're having a good day at Brant. I know that this group's had tough days the last couple of years here, so just try to finish it off for them.
It's Andrew Overstreet, crew chief for Justin Allgaier. You heard it, about 20 to 25 more laps, and they really liked the fire-off speed, the refire on a cycle of tires. It's proved dividends already here today. We'll see how it holds on here for another 20 to 25 more laps.
Well, I love Andrew's optimism, and I hope we get a caution in 20 or 25 laps so we can watch the 7 and the 41 try to drive through the field. And from our perspective up here, the lap time fall-off hasn't been there to be able to work your way through that many cars, but it'll be fun for us to get to watch if that's the case.
Well, and the problem is if you don't get a yellow, then you're really in trouble.
Well, I know Andrew really well. Worked with him for many years. He was an engineer of mine, crew chief for me one time. And I'd say, it's uncharacteristic for him to do something different and kind of think outside the box, but I could tell there in the way he talked about what Justin told him about how good their car is and what he's seen. He just feels so confident in the speed they have in that race car. They were willing to take this risk, and I think Justin said it best. They're playing house's money. Why not try and get a trophy a different way?
Sheldon Creed rides in the 5th spot right now. He is the highest running driver that pitted there on new tires, but is fuel a concern? Let's take a listen.
Sheldon, just let you know where we're at here. We're on our number. We're a little bit to the good, so anything you save here for us will save us. Will just help us for green white checkers.
That radio communication presented by Starkey. They're one of the teams with the Hendrick engine, so JT giving him the lowdown there that a little bit of saving, the more you can save, the better we're going to be.
I know why Sheldon has done so well this year. How can you not be happy hearing Jonathan Toney on the radio? That guy, he just makes me feel upbeat every time I hear him.
So many great personalities in this garage, and he is one of them, no doubt. Always enjoy catching up with JT during the race weekend. And
I like the position they're in right now.
Absolutely.
They've got enough fuel to make it to the end. They have the best tires, and they can make it to the end. So Double Zero's done a great job putting themselves in a position to be able to win this thing.
Getting a look at Carson Quapple, who rides in the 11th spot. If there's anyone who knows the value of a good crew, it's the professional parts people at O'Reilly Auto Parts. That's why they want to put the spotlight on crew members that are essential to a race team's success. For more, let's hear from Chris again.
And Dylan, let's put the spotlight on front tire changer Ryan Mulder for this JRM team from nearby Sioux Center, Iowa. And his auto racing pedigree has certainly been nurtured on the dirt tracks. It's fitting because you can't go really too far in Iowa without hitting a dirt track these days. Ryan and his family were staples at places like Houston Speedway in Brandon, South Dakota, Rock Rapids Speedway in Iowa, and Park Jefferson Speedway. His mom was actually the first female, Laura, to win a feature at Houston. There she is right there when Ryan was only 7 years old. His dad, Darlo, also owns a auto shop in downtown Sioux Center. That's where Ryan got his passion for auto mechanics. He moved to Charlotte, got in touch with teams in the K&N series, worked his way up to SHR, and here he is now pitting for JRM. And boy, talk about two worlds colliding, because just 30 minutes south at Knoxville, we got the Knoxville Nationals going on. So Ryan getting the spotlight here today with our O'Reilly Auto Parts Pit Crew Spotlight.
Good stuff, Chris, and racing family. So he gets it honest for sure. Awesome to have him down there on the pit lane, crewing for Carson Quapple and the team.
It's cool to hear those stories.
It is.
All the crew members and how everyone gets into NASCAR. And
his mom raced.
Yeah,
that's awesome.
And what is the #1 question you've probably got a lot of your life? How do you get involved in motorsports? How do you get there? Well, we get to find out every time we do that with these awesome crew members.
Yeah, always enjoy those features for sure. Go back to green with 77 to go. Justin Allgaier, Sam Mayer, Nick Sanchez, and Jeb Burton. The 4 fighters remaining at the front here that have not made their final stop. Sheldon Creed there lining up on the inside of row number 3. The first one with new tires, and heard the radio with JT. He's good to go on fuel. Fuel back into the Poet restart zone. Back to green at Iowa. Allgaier and Mayer side by side.
That was a really competitive restart by Sam Mayer. Probably the best we've seen out of the inside. Stays side by side with Justin, although Allgaier's got the run, the momentum on the top side, and clears Sam down into 3.
Parker Retzloff there in the middle of 1 and 2 got all jacked up and sideways, and everybody scattering behind him to try to avoid the 99. Meanwhile, Mayer dialing up the inside again on Allgaier.
Yeah,
LeVar Scott into the wall under caution for the 8th time.
You're good. Get it rolling. Do not go down pit road. Do not go down pit road. Just get caught up best you can.
LeVar was 23rd.
Well, and it's not surprising in the chaos of the pack that we've seen in these restarts. As you were looking ahead, I saw that out of the corner of my eye. A car suddenly going in the wrong trajectory towards the outside wall.
And that was at the back of that group that Retzloff was at the front of. And when he had that moment, everybody got stacked up there. And it ultimately accordioned all the way back to LeVar.
You know what I can't help but think as I watched the restart there, and we heard, we'll take a look real quick at LeVar Scott's gonna come on the, oh, he's already around sideways when he comes into the screen there. You have to think there's probably a little bit of contact to get him around that early in the corner. Maybe he checked up. Whoever was behind him was not able to.
That was Sammy Smith that was behind him.
Ryan Ellis getting a piece of it there. We'll go on board with him.
I think we'll find the culprit right there. A little bit of contact. Tight racing on these restarts.
Ellis able to drive away, and Scott gets the worst end of it.
And you have to think Sammy Smith is probably a little frustrated trying to drive back to the field after the penalty on pit road. So he's not really giving any. Let's take a listen to Justin Allgaier's radio.
If I'd known we were going to wreck every 2 laps, I probably would have pitted earlier. Yeah.
Hindsight's always 20/20, isn't it?
Then that's what I was. So what I was going to say is, we're going to get a good idea of the difference in tires because there's 25 or 30 laps difference in what Creed has for tires versus Allgaier. If he's able to drive right by Justin here, that would give you, a little more hope. But if not, I just think it's going to be tough for the 7 to come from the back.
Yeah, and you'd like some green flag laps here.
A bunch of them.
Yeah, pits are open there. You'd like some green flag laps so these guys that have newer tires wear their stuff out a little bit. So when you do put those tires on, your advantage of that is that much bigger. So a lot to unpack still here in Iowa under caution again. College football is back on the CW. It all kicks off Saturday, August 29th. New Mexico State in Tallahassee to take on Florida State. Don't miss the return of CW College Football Saturday, August 29th, 6:30 p.m. Eastern on the CW and streaming live on the ESPN app. Coming to green, Allgaier and Mayer out front again.
And no matter when they do get to pit, I think we're getting a great example of how tough it's going to be for Justin Allgaier and Sam Mayer to drive back to this field. Think of the subsequent restarts we've had here with Jeff Burton, Nick Sanchez, Patrick Starpoy. These were cars outside the top 15 on older tires who have not been passed. This is going to be a tall task for the 7 to 41.
Allgaier again chooses the outside lane as the race leader. Back to green with 71 to go. Another good restart for Mayer, but Sheldon Creed on those new tires looking for an opening.
Oh, he tried to go in the middle, though. It's going to get the whole field on the bottom right there. It puts Creed in a really vulnerable position. Actually going to lose a position right here off turn 2.
It's Ross Chastain in the 9 on the inside of Creed, racing for the 4th spot.
Gosh, you saw Ross rush the throttle right there to get in front of Creed, who's struggling on this restart.
Mayer going to work on Allgaier for the race lead here.
Oh, Creed's going even further back up the track, off the bumper of Nick Sanchez.
Yeah, they're bullying him out of the top 5 here. In danger of losing 2 more. Austin Hill, Brandon Jones driving it in there hard.
Well, and that's put Ross Chastain in the best position of the guys that have pitted. He's in 4th position right now and has enough fuel to make it to the end.
Yeah, disastrous restart for the 00. Got a crash potentially on the front stretch, and there's the caution. There it is.
That's actually
he's
long slide for the 92, driven by Mason Maggio.
Mason, I think, was the
Get that
unlucky
set of tires up
recipient.
here, guys. We're going to put them on.
Yeah, you're going to need a set.
Yeah, definitely going to need a left rear. The 48 of Patrick Staropoli got turned down the front stretch into Mason, and it looked like Patrick was going to end up heading into the infield, but didn't actually do it. He caught it. A chance to look at it.
And it just hooked Maggio, who, oh, you see that right, Rich, is going to destroy the body on that when it starts to come apart.
Yeah, that left rear gone, the right rear.
Well, he slid about 3/4 of a mile down the front stretch. Yeah, fortunately, he didn't hit anything, but
yeah, pretty remarkable job. Had a couple of those that maybe should have been much bigger crashes that have somehow turned into just single car incidents really at the end of the day.
Still trying to drive it.
Yeah,
Our
we
9th
see
caution of the day. We've had 9 cautions in each of the last 2 Iowa races. Here's a look at it.
Yeah, so there's 48 right there. Brendan, there was a checkup off behind Retzloff. He gets, Brendan Poole runs to the back of the 48 of Staropoli, and Maggio
slides forever.
They were running 21st and 22nd.
Saves the car.
He's lucky he
the tires.
didn't just get hooked into the outside wall. That could have been a massive impact. But
And that's such a horrible feeling when you're Mason Maggio there. You get right reared like that. It's just out of nowhere. Sometimes you maybe have an indication of the corner of your eye that there's you see the color of a car coming towards you. So you see Patrick Staropoli on pit road right there, that left front damage.
Let's check back in on the 7, the race leader. Here's some team radio.
I don't know. I'm frustrated because I thought it was going to go green like it had been. So I'm aggravated at that, but I can't control it. So it's up to you. Whatever you think we need to do right here. I'll get through if we pit now. I'll get through if we pit later.
Let's go ahead. Come down.
let me ask you something. We heard the 7-team reference earlier, like we're playing with house money.
Yep.
I feel like in that position, you actually pit on the front side and gamble on the fuel and take a chance, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it's almost like the opposite has happened here. And you know, there's frustration on the radio, but I feel like when you're in the position they're in is when you actually gamble on fuel and take a chance.
I feel like this was an uncharacteristic call for Andrew Overstreet, and I feel like, you know, Justin, we heard it on the radio, Justin really led this in terms of them staying out the way they did. You know, I think of Andrew as someone who's more to stay to the well-beaten path of following what everyone else is doing and say, hey, we've got the best car. We don't need to beat them on strategy. We can beat them straight up on speed or stretching fuel if there's a lot of caution laps. Yeah, this was an odd call, and they're definitely going to have to sort of lick their wound here because he's going to go way back and have to work his way through this field when they do eventually pit.
It's so frustrating for the 7 because for years we've watched him dominate races, and the strategy or the calls have cost the 7 a lot of race wins, even though they're able, I mean, every week they're a contender to win, but it just seems like it's going to bite them one more time today.
Free pass in this yellow will be Derek Lemke, the 91 car, the other DGM car in the field. And we'll expect the front runners, at least those that haven't pitted, here on pit road in a matter of moments. And we'll see how much of a difference new tires make. With 65 laps to go this time by, Jeb Burton stayed out. Allgaier and Mayer and Sanchez, the other three at the front, decide to come down and take their tires and make their final stop of the day. Let's check in with Chris Wilner.
Yeah, Dylan, you heard it from the radio chatter with Andrew Overstreet and Justin Allgaier just saying we might as well come down now. Justin's still confident in his ability to drive through the field, and he said, you know what, I need more time maybe to do so, so let's come now at the split point here in this final stage. So before Goodyear Tires, Sunoco Fuel said the car's still really good, and now they're going to have enough fuel for a green-white checkered scenario. On the right side of your screen, Sam Mayer also in, last pitted on lap 125 with Allgaier. They also, too, feel like the car is really good, maybe a slight air pressure adjustment. He's down and away as Sam Mayer goes back on the offense. Again, hanging around here at the end, trying to go for 3 in a row, but boy, both these cars going to have to come from deep in the field.
Yeah, and one positive, as Chris said there, if you do get in a situation where there's some guys that are having to save or be conscious of their fuel number, not going to be the case for the 7 and the 41 and the 87 that just came down and made their stops right there. So it's not over with 65 to go, but certainly some different strategies and different approaches, including this strategy taken by the 2017 Kim.
Yeah, and I thought they were on the same strategy as the 7 and the 41. Doesn't quite sound like it. Obviously, they did not come down like those other two cars. Take a listen, though, to the in-car audio between driver Jeb Burton and his crew chief, J.C. Umscheid.
How close are we to making it?
It's very close. Need you to max save here, and we need it to keep going like it's going. It's very close. Within 3 caution laps of us making it all the way.
So as I understand that, guys, you heard that too. It sounds like if they get those 3 caution laps, they're going to try to connect their last stop on 125 to the end of the race at 250. That's 125 laps. Granted, there have been a number of those, a high number of those under caution.
Well, the good news for them is at the rate we're going, yeah, they're going to make it on fuel because we keep adding all these cautions, but that is an incredibly long time to make it on fuel, considering some of these guys that pitted 35 laps later were still kind of concerned with being able to make it.
As we work our 9th caution of the day with 64 to go, let's head to the CW garage and check in with Carla Metz.
Yeah, thanks, Dylan. Well, let's talk a little bit more about Brandon Jones. Has 10 top 10s in the last 13 races. That's more than any other driver in the field. Now, despite the consistency, he told me this week he still feels like they've fallen off as a group as far as getting those stage points and moving up in the standings. He said without the stage points, those top 10s, they just don't feel as nice. They were shooting for a big week, but so far just 3 stage points in this race. Still shooting for a top 10, though, which would still be good for a team. This 20 team, only 3 top 10s in the last 14 short track races.
Yeah, they could use a good run for sure for some momentum. The choose underway. One of the cars that came down there was Parker Retzloff, had a penalty for too many crew members over the wall, so they'll drop just a couple more spots to the back of the line here. So let's see where the 7 and the 41 came out here. The cars that were at the front.
It's keep going.
Yeah, well, they're
keep going.
Still don't see them. There they are, right there. So about a straightaway to make up here.
They're outside the top 20. It's essentially about 23rd, 24th. They last crossed the line. That is a lot of cars to pass, and we have not seen anyone really pass that many cars.
Yeah, now I don't know what you want. Do you want yellows to bunch everybody up? Do you want a long green run?
They either need yellows or they take massive advantage of red cars, or they need a really long green flag run.
Well, we're all going to find out together what strategy was the right one. Back to green with 62 laps to go. Jeb Burton, the control car from the outside lane, gets the edge for now on Ross Chastain to the inside of turn 1.
Wow, Justin Allgaier all the way to the top, 3 wide. He's going to pick up a bunch of spots towards the back as the battle for the lead continues.
That was productive for Allgaier.
Look at how much ground he's going to make up again. He's going to get 2 more in turns 3 and 4. A little check up there.
Oh, Jeb was shoved up.
Jeb Burton's gone back to 4th here. Chastain goes to the lead. Quapple to 2nd. Ryan Sieg challenging for 3rd.
Allgaier all the way up to 14th.
That's the progress you need to make. Early and often, get them while you can while they're bunched up here on the restarts. Message delivered for the driver of the 7.
Justin Allgaier gained 8 spots in the first lap That's incredible.
Well, hey, and look, I have to imagine as the driver, when you make that decision, right, to stay out like they did, you've got to redeem yourself. Look at this, 4 wide. Sammy Smith on the charge back forward.
Well,
Sam Mayer there as well.
Problem for Allgaier right now is they're too wide in front of him. So there's nowhere to go. Even though you have a faster car, he needs those guys to get single file, whether it's on the bottom or the top, to give him the position he needs. We see Sieg and Quapple fighting. Sieg won stage 1, had a fast car, a bad pit stop. He's now put himself in a good position again.
That's the battle for second. Quapple has it. Sieg wants it. Jeff Burton has settled out in the 4th spot here, but some fast cars behind him. That's Austin Hill, Brent Cruz knocking on the door.
And Jeff's got such a tall task here. He was, ran most of this race around the top 15. They get vaulted to the front on this strategy on way older tires. He's just doing the best he can to hang on as Brent Cruz gets his left rear right there.
I'll tell you what, Cruz has not been afraid to stick his nose in the middle of some of these battles, and he has been physical all day long today.
You don't want to poke that bear, though.
No,
I'm telling you right now. Not a good one to mess with.
Got him 2 or 3 times there into 1 and 2, and may get him again here in 3. Jeb gets on the brakes and lets him go.
Brent's going to have to hope to get away.
Well, yeah, for sure, because Jeb won't appreciate what's happening right there. And 19.
Got one in the wall. It's Corey Day, I think, back in the pack. It is. Caution's out for the 10th time.
I think that's good for Allgaier. Get him stacked back up again. He passed 8 cars in that first lap, and then over the next 4 or 5 laps was only able to get 1 more.
Day was running 15th. Got into the wall, I think courtesy of some front bumper contact. Went up and made it
big contact,
pretty hard
too.
contact, yeah, with the outside wall, and has come to a stop, which leads me to believe that that thing's not drivable.
You see the deck lid is actually knocked off of that car.
Really hard hit in an awkward angle as well. The way that car went into the wall.
There you have it. Day over, it sounds like, for the 17. Window net down. So Allgaier had moved up, as we said, 9 spots on that restart. It's Sammy Smith on the inside of Day.
Oh, top right of your screen, and that's just a really awkward angle. It's
almost like he was loose and whether he got hit and got loose, but had overcorrected, and to see that car shoot up the racetrack at that angle.
I think there was contact. It was where the 17 of Corey Day was turning down, maybe anticipating being clear. Sammy put his nose there late, just contacted him the wrong way. When that car corrected to the right, you see Corey Day just go up into the wall at a really harsh angle. Good to see him up and walking out of that race car.
Yeah, the preferred groove here is to take this big wide arc into one, and you're just so vulnerable, especially on restarts, of guys filling the, the shorter distance around the track, and looks like they just connected kind of,
It's an option to do that. You can do it. It's just you put yourself and that outside car in an awkward position. Let's take a look at Justin Allgaier here on that restart. We talked about him going to the top side 3 wide. I didn't think this was an option, but it worked for him. You see everyone get checked up down there. He just goes to the top and says, see y'all later.
Restarted 22nd, and he'll restart now in 13th. Pretty good progress in a couple of laps.
Well, he got almost every one of those cars in 300 feet.
Yeah.
Like all checked up, as you mentioned, he had the momentum on the outside, because Mayer in the 41, you see 6 or 8 cars behind him, was actually in front of him on that restart, but got bottled up in the middle of that.
Here's Jeff Burton in for his final stop, Kim.
Yeah, pivoting from that strategy we heard on the radio of trying to make it to the end of the race on their fuel after losing the track position. Remember, restarted in the lead all the way down to 8th before they came down pit road. They will put fresh tires on it. Loose has been the complaint all race long. Jeb saying it's a little bit better, but still need more rear security.
Well, Jeb's just got to put it in the outside lane and do what Justin did, I guess.
It's been shown what to do.
Yep.
You just have to go pull it off. I will be curious if Justin can do that as he's further up in the field. That was a lot of checkups and
or if he takes the outside again. Like, does he want to be on the outside to try to do that same move?
Well, I think he has to.
It's really his best option.
10th caution of the day, and it involves the 17 car of Corey Day. Hard contact here in turns 1 and 2. Glad to see him climb out of that car under his own power. The fastest growing network in all of television is News Nation. News Nation respects all Americans and is news for all Americans. To find News Nation on your screen, go to newsnationnow.com. Back with you here at Iowa, 52 to go. Working our 10th caution of the afternoon. Take a look back at what put us under yellow here.
Yeah, we have another angle here that sort of shows the definite contact between the 8 and the 17 right there down into 1.
Wasn't exactly what we thought happened. Yeah. It looked to me like the 8 got a little aggressive on his entry right there with the 17, and the angle that the 17 hits the wall at, that's huge impact.
It was more rear bumper to front bumper as opposed to, we thought, more be right front quarter panel to left rear quarter panel. Definitely Sammy Smith got into the back of Corey Day there into 1.
Corey gets a early start on his trip down the road to race the sprint car tonight at Knoxville. Not the way he wanted to end today, though, at the big track. Chris?
Yeah, Carson Kvapil back in the mix. Curious as we listen to the radio chatter with he and TJ Majors about the choose here on this restart. Take a listen.
I think you can race them down into 1, so my gut telling me P4 from the top. I feel like I'm in the place I'd rather be 2, tucked up behind them. Yeah, I think if you can get through 2 up there behind him, I think you're in a good spot to race them again.
Yeah, Kvapil second on the leaderboard and chooses outside of row 2 here, so lined up behind race leader Ross Chastain in that outside lane.
Yeah, watch the 39 right here. He had a great restart last time, and his cars worked really well around the bottom. They don't put him 3 wide down here.
Really good restart.
Yep. See if he can get it to hook the bottom. He did last time. Really good job by Ryan Sieg right here.
Sieg won stage 1, led every lap, trying to get back to the front here, racing Ross Chastain in the 9, Austin Hill to the inside of Carson Kvapil behind him for 3rd.
Oh, Sieg pinched his entry off just a little bit into 3. See, still in good position. Can he get a little side draft here from Ross, who's preferring to run that little bit higher line?
But don't let the 1 of Carson Kvapil to your right rear right there. If you're Ryan Sieg, that would be game over in terms of fighting for the lead.
Outside lane prevails again. Chastain goes back to the point, but Sieg able to slot into the 2nd spot. Kvapil dials up the inside lane out of 4.
Sieg's got a great car today. Car looks very stable.
Keeping an eye on Justin Allgaier's progress right of the screen as well. Remember, pitted after the leaders did. He's up to the 11th spot.
He had a big amount of momentum there on the outside to the right rear of Ross Chastain. That was a great run for Ryan Sieg. He's finished second 5 times, won his first career pole today. You know how bad he's wanted to win. He's going to have to get by a cup driver to get back to the control of this race.
And he's quicker, whether it's on the bottom or the top. And we've watched Ross have to search around. Thinking Ross's mind, though, I'll give you the inside because I know I can race you much harder having the momentum on the outside. If I'm Sieg, I'd rather get to the right rear quarter, but it just seems like whatever line the 9 runs, the 39 just has more speed through the middle of the corner.
Top 4 all right there together in your picture. Sheldon Creed at the back of this train.
Sieg's got such a tough battle, though, because it's not just trying to pass the 9. It's how do I manage to keep these 3 cars lined up behind me as well. Chastain's hoping he can do just enough blocking to get them side by side, buy him just a little bit of time.
It's a mix of offense and defense. You have to pull right here because look, as he goes to look lower on Ross Chastain, that gives an open lane to Carson Kvapil, who slips up off of 4. Sheldon Creed gets beside him down into 1.
But that buys Sieg a lap or 2 here. He can try something now. He can maybe go to the inside because if you have 1 or 2 bad laps, you're not going to get used up by the guys behind you. I think for Sieg, though, it's got to be keep showing Ross, I'm going to run low, I'm going to run low.
He's got to look.
And then try to get to his outside, though. It's going to be so much easier to get that done.
Well, he's got the side draft. He's going to have to overdrive it to 1.
Outside lane has been preferred. Does he have enough momentum to clear him or slide across his nose? Not quite. Chastain back to the throttle. Still side by side for the lead.
Yeah, don't pinch your entry off here. I feel like on that restart, he drove in just a little shallow and it made him tight through the middle. Sees out of the throttle there.
You got to have the positive momentum here with the side draft. You see he puts his right front.
It though right here.
Yep, but not quite close enough.
Chastain squeezes him a little bit, but washes up ever so slightly, but he's able to clear him and get back to the front.
Ross is kind of rushing the throttle there through the middle, just trying to lunge a little bit ahead. See, can kind of regroup here. I'd love to see him do a little fake out though. Like I've shown you the bottom twice. Get Ross on the defense a little low and then try to get to that right rear quarter.
Hard part for Sieg here is just not having enough racetrack to build that arc into turn number 1. Makes it so tough to keep your momentum built up at that end of the racetrack.
He's so much quicker right now, though, than what Ross can run, because every time he loses a little ground, he can run him back down in about one set of corners.
Yeah, the key is the run here off of 4. If he can get that positive momentum once again, maybe pack some air on that left rear of Ross Chastain and just get him out of the throttle so he can get even more of a run into 1. That's how we've seen a lot of passes made today.
Right of the screen, Cruz and Allgaier linked up. They're up to 7th and 8th.
See what Sieg can do here. He's right on his bumper. Gonna try to enter just a little higher, then turn down. Try to exit a little straighter. So much more grip. This lap car could play a role in this. Where's the lap car go?
Gets out of the way. Good job by Mason Maggio there.
Chastain back to the middle. Sieg got to the left rear quarter panel again, but
Sieg's gonna have to do it soon.
Yeah.
You see the one car starting to catch from behind. You're gonna have a different race on your hand. I know he's doing everything he can, but laps are winding down, and gosh, if he could just get him cleared.
39 to go. Time to go for the 39.
And as you run right behind Ross Chastain here, it's just overheating things within that race car. Your tires, you're working that car harder than he is in the clean air. You've got to get these passes done quickly. You're going to pay the price. You're seeing him fall back a little bit right now. Could just be sort of taking a breather and making another run at it.
While these two battle, let's check in down on the pit lane with Kim.
Yeah, Corey Day out of the care center. Hard hit for you. Are you okay? And what happened to your knowledge?
I'm fine. Yeah, I don't really know, to tell you the truth. I haven't seen a replay or... Yeah, I mean, I got shipped. I don't even know what I did to deserve that. I'd never raced around the guy all day. So, yeah, I don't know. Nothing good to say.
Thanks, Corey.
Hey, good to see him out of the care center.
Sometimes less is more.
It is.
And that was a great scenario of that.
Good choice.
Yeah, that's right.
Back up front, top 3 on the screen here. Chastain, Sieg, Quapple.
Man, they've leveled out. Sieg's kind of lost the advantage that he had. Gonna have to search around, see if he can find some grip. It seems like Chastain's car started to come to him. The lap times just a little bit quicker every single lap.
These 3 have driven away from Sheldon Creed, who is hanging in that 4th spot. He in turn has pulled away from Austin Hill, who rides in 5th. Good day going for Jeremy Clements as well in 6th. Time to go full throttle with Sound Gear. Wherever sound is a problem, Sound Gear has the solution. Scan the QR code to learn more at soundgear.com. Good stuff there out the back of William Sawalich. Looking at Sam Mayer, racing for 11th and 12th. This is the race between Junior Motorsports teammates Justin Allgaier in 7th, Raja Caruth in 8th. Allgaier's gotten around Brent Cruz. Saw a few laps ago they were linked up.
I think Justin might run out of laps here without some sort of caution to bunch up the field and give him another restart or more than one restart.
Fastest car on the track, though. That Bass Pro Shop Chevy you see in 3rd right there, the winner from Indy. Carson Quapple again rising to the occasion late in the race.
Boy, and what a freeing moment that was for him, just to get that wind monkey off his back. Sometimes they come in droves after that. Once you get that first one checked off, good spot to be in for the one here.
First one's the hardest.
It is.
All 3 of them running a little bit of a different line right here. It's like Ross kind of running the highest. Everyone's just trying to get a little bit of clean air on the nose, trying to find grip. Carson, see on the left, able to run just a little lower. They can run quicker entry through the middle, but just kills the exit slow all the way down the straightaway. Ross, if he can just, boy, if he stays in that, kind of splitting that seam on entry, just kills those guys where they can't get the momentum that they need on exit. I got to think that a lap car is what's going to have to.
Man, he got close to him. It may cost him second here. Sieg had to check up. It looked like maybe closed in on the back of the 9 sooner than he anticipated. And Quapple's there to capitalize. We're going to try to.
Shifted in there.
Race for second.
Sieg's able to hang on right there.
And Ross
Carson
is loving
committed,
this.
yeah.
You two run side by side. I'll just drive away.
I couldn't tell what checked up Ross so much. It looked to me like he was just rolling the bottom, and just out of nowhere, it's like those guys had caught him.
Sieg trying to get clear of Quapple down the back straightaway, and he will.
For a half second a lap slower than the leader the last time by. That was huge for Ross.
Well, and you talked about how quickly Sieg's able to close back in on Ross, so we'll see here. This will be a good test for us. See how good the 39 car really is in these final 28 laps if he's able to close this gap.
Ross actually the fastest car on the track last time by as we get a look at. I don't really know what caused him to check up. But that jumble was huge because he exited the corner, and then those guys, the timing of that just did not work out for them.
It was Tomasi in the 53 was up there, and I think Ross was a little unsure maybe of what lane he was going to be in, so he sort of went in towards the top, ended up checking up and diamonding the corner a little bit, which caught Ryan Sieg off guard.
Fastest car last time by, Ryan Sieg. You said it, Dylan. See how quick he can run him down. Quapple's able to stay with him. Their lap times are all pretty close.
Oh, Jeremy Clements. We had just talked about him running 6th. And another heartbreaking day, heartbreaking finish after what has been a really strong day. Had one of those going in Indianapolis 2 weeks ago. Had a battery issue that sidelined them. And another tough break for them here with 26 to go.
Looked like he had a flat tire the way it was wiggling around, but they all appear to be aired up.
But I think
it came to pit road.
Yeah. I thought maybe there was an issue towards the rear. Yeah,
Yeah,
okay.
you hear it there.
I thought there was maybe more of a suspension issue.
Tell you what, Allgaier is making some progress here. He's up to 6th. Austin Hill's in 5th. That's Sheldon Creed just ahead in 4th.
Yeah, but he's got 3 seconds to make up. Without a caution, I just don't see any way the 7's going to get. He might get back to the top 5, but not back to racing for a win. But if we get a caution, we've seen how chaotic that can be. He clearly could put him back in a great position.
Justin knows he can't waste any time. Every position, every car he passes, he's got to go. Racing Austin Hill for 5th right now, Chris.
A good battle as Justin continues his march through the field, now up to the top 5. And talking to Justin earlier today, he said walking into Iowa just feels different this year. I've struggled the last 2 years, but something about today feels different. I don't know what it is, but we've got a really good race car, and I feel like I'll have the best car today. Well, he's paying that off here right now in his drive through the field. Still has a little bit of a way to go, but right now the coolest temperatures and conditions we've had all afternoon. Sky becoming overcast as the sun dips behind the front straightaway, so this is playing into Justin Allgaier's hands as the track continues to get grip. This is really going to Justin Allgaier's favor as far as the handling, but does he have enough time? We'll find out.
It's interesting. I talked to Andrew Overstreet this week too. He said, we just want to tell Justin this week, let's come in here with an open mind and try to learn and get better here and see what happens. So they've tried some different things today, but the car has been quick.
And his teammate Quapple just got by Ryan Sieg. We were watching Justin Allgaier there to 2nd.
Oh, look at that lap time too by Carson Quapple. Got to 2nd, got by Sieg. 10th quicker than the leader, but he's 1.3 seconds back, so he's gonna have to put together some really good laps and get through lap traffic.
And that's just what I was gonna say. Ross Chastain is getting very close to catching some serious lap traffic here.
Junior Motorsports with 3 in the top 5, the 9, the 1, and the 7 of Allgaier on the charge forward.
If these lap cars give the 9 the outside, it's not gonna hold him up bad, but as we've seen so far, if they're running that preferred line in the outside and giving the leaders the bottom, 1 lap, that's all it takes for Quapple to catch him.
Race for 4th here. Creed has it. Allgaier wants it in the 7. 20 to go for the race leader Chastain. 19 to go as he crosses the line there.
Quapple's able to take another 10th and a half off that lap. Got it down to about a 1 second gap now.
Yeah, Ross had to work his way. Justin Allgaier gets in big wiggle there underneath Sheldon Creed. Ross Chastain had to pass 2 lappers on that lap. Both of them forced him to the bottom, like you were saying. So if that continues to happen, it's exactly what Carson Kvapil needs to make a run at Ross.
Allgaier forced to fall back in line here behind the 00.
You can see that pass on the bottom so hard. Allgaier's car's turning really well. A little bit loose right there on exit. Just can't get the speed, the momentum you need. See if he can use that 92 as a little bit of a pick right here. He was.
Allgaier to 4th. 17 to go. There's the race leader, Chastain. There's 2nd, there's 3rd, and here's Allgaier in 4th.
Allgaier's made a heck of a run at it. I don't think he's going to have enough pace to be able to run down those guys in front. He's got a great car.
When he's been in clean air, he's really only been about a 10th faster than these two, and that's just not enough time with a 3.5-second gap to make that up to catch these leaders. This is really a battle right now between Carson Kvapil and Ross Chastain and the impending lap traffic ahead of Ross. Right there, you
they're
see
side
it.
by side.
And there's more ahead of that as well.
Ross will be screaming on the radio to the spotters. Oh, you see they're going to get side by side again. Garrett Smithley on the bottom.
It's Nathan Bird, the other lap car there, the 42.
See how much that slows up Ross on this lap. Smithley gets out of the way. Another 1/10 of a second. The one was able to run him down. 8/10 of a second now is the gap.
Kvapil's been better last few laps.
Every lap. Of course, he's going to have to deal with some of this lap traffic now, but Carson's been running just a little bit higher than the 9. He comes into the screen right here. His left front's basically been on that seam on both ends. Just getting a massive run on the exit.
Oh, boy, that was close for Chastain. Gets to the inside of Nathan Bird there.
That's going to bog that lap down, though. See how much Carson can make up.
A little bit of separation for Chastain here, working back to 13 to go. Remember, Chastain won earlier this year at Charlotte in this car.
See what the 42 decides to do with Carson Kvapil. Carson's going to want the outside.
Right of the screen, Brent Cruz on the move, disposing of Austin Hill. That's the race for 6th.
Oh, 42 held him up just a little bit. Going to hurt his exit, the corner right here. But even with what he had to fight right there, he was still just marginally quicker than Chastain the last time by.
He's definitely just got more speed. You see Ross has even moved to the bottom, even in clean air right there. Maybe searching a little bit, realizing the 1 is a little better than him at this point.
Lots of lap traffic again. The 3-4 cars right in front of Chastain. You see those guys about 20 car lengths ahead of him.
Allgaier not done yet. Racing Ryan Sieg for 3rd. Coming to 11 laps to go. Junior Motorsports 1, 2, 3, 4. Last time we raced at Indianapolis, looking for a potential 1, 2, 3 here if Allgaier is able to get by Sieg.
That just shows you how far Ryan Sieg has fallen off. Justin gets really loose down into 1. Obviously pushing as hard as he can.
Good save to not take both of them out there. And he'll reload here back into 3.
Carson's adjusted his line. He was running that first seam, has went all the way to the bottom where we see Chastain running as well. Found a little bit of lap time again.
Faster again.
Yeah, picked up another 10th that last time by. Ran the fastest lap we've seen.
Look back at this slide here by Justin. Ryan's pinching a little bit. Justin tried to overspeed the entry of the corner. They met there in the middle.
Got a good run here on the outside. He'll get by Sieg here with the favorable line at the exit of 4 and down the front stretch. Allgaier to 3rd with 9 to go.
If we look right in front of them of the 9 car, look right in front of Ross, what he's going to have to deal with. There are 1, 2, 3, 4 cars right in front of him. This is definitely going to hold him up and allow Carson.
And Carson was 2/10 a lap faster the last lap.
Yeah, look how close he is. And this has been holding Ross up for multiple laps, and it's going to continue for now for one more. Those guys taking kind of the preferred line. Oh, it's going to hurt the exit right here. Carson's going to get massive run down the backstretch. Oh, Ross is not able to actually get beside. Frustration for sure inside of his car.
6.5 tenths was the gap last time across the line. Looks less than that as they work more laps with 7 to go.
2 tenths again. Carson was able to make up. Now he's going to have to deal with this lap car now as well. But normally lap cars don't race the second place guy near as hard as they do the leader.
Well, and if you're Carson, you just have to be methodical here. Don't overdo it. You have the speed right now. You are catching him. He knows that. He's feeling that for Ross Chastain. So for Carson, you don't want to overstep it. Don't push too hard. Know the amount of laps you have left. You're going to get to his rear bumper most likely with the speed advantage you have right now.
Blaine Perkins there in the 31.
Yeah,
Gives Quapple the bottom.
Blaine got really loose down 3 and 4 last time and shot up the racetrack. I feel like Carson made up as much ground as I thought he was going to, but we still have more lap traffic in front of these guys. It just takes one bad corner, as we saw earlier, to check out that leader. Gosh, you got those lap cars to get out of the way. It's so close to the end. Let these guys go race.
Battle for the top 5 right of the screen. Yellow. Jeb Burton with a left rear down.
Oh boy.
This is going to make things interesting.
Oh, this restart will be great.
This changes.
I can't wait.
Everything.
Is Justin Allgaier suddenly in the best spot of anybody here?
I would think.
And it's the choose too, right? I mean, like if you're Quapple, it's hard to give up the front row, but that outside has been better. Does that then give Allgaier the option to take the inside of the front row? This is great.
And if you're the second row on the bottom, do you do the 3 wide
Absolutely
Sam Mayer move we've seen? Of course you do. So most likely going to be put 3 wide if they can into turn 1.
11th caution of the day again for Jeb Burton. He was running 22nd at the time of this spin.
Game on, baby.
That's Eddie DeHaan, the spotter. He's always good for a pump-up speech or two. And here is Jeb on the pit lane to get a different set of tires put on that 27 for the run to the finish. Well, this is going to be very compelling. See who chooses where here.
You chose compelling. I thought chaotic.
Well, that works too.
Maybe both.
Yes. Here's what happened to Jeb.
A little bit of contact, it looks like, from the 48. Oh yeah, cuts that left rear tire. Ooh, Jeb does a nice job saving that.
Tell you what, we've had several incidents today that could have been a lot worse than they ended up being. This one included. Somebody left a water bottle back there on the back
12
stretch.
of them,
Yeah,
like,
or a beer can or something back there too.
It's normally where you dispose of them when you
chuck it out the window after the pit stop.
So if you're courteous, you throw them below the yellow line. NASCAR doesn't have to throw
Andrew's like, I told you guys.
Yeah, it's all going to work out.
I told you 60 laps ago it was going to be perfect.
Just like he drew it up. There's Philip Bell, who calls the shots for Ross Chastain in the 9.
He's like, really?
Yeah,
really.
And I'll tell you, you know, Philip last year was a crew chief for Sammy Smith and made a really gutsy strategy call that almost worked. They had a bad yellow that was just frankly bad luck that kind of upset potentially a really good strategy call, and they may see another one here that looked like it was in the bag that they're going to have to work extra hard for here on this 9 car.
And I don't think fuel's an issue, but when you get the overtimes and you were kind of close, it definitely just does it fire on the initial start. Like, do you get the box full?
That's the key.
You know, in the fuel cell, you'll see these guys swerving back and forth, just trying to load the fuel cell up so that the car will accelerate.
And that's a problem with these O'Reilly Series cars, is you can have 2-3 gallons of fuel in there, but if you don't get that fuel to the right side of the fuel cell as you're coming to the restart, it can get an air pocket in that fuel line. The engine will die suddenly, and that's game over in terms of being able to fight for the win.
Our 11th caution of the day is one away from the record, which was set in the inaugural race here in Iowa back in 2009. That's 12, so we're one away from the record. Let's check back in with Carla.
Thanks, Dylan. Well, we know 5 of the last 24 races have been won by a first-time winner, but none maybe as emotional as Carson Quapple's first career win at Indy 2 weeks ago. He told me this one was a long time coming and one that came with an immense amount of pressure as it concerned his future. He said, I'm not a guy that cries, but this one got me. He mentioned that emotion we saw from owner Dale Jr. and gave great insight, saying he's not just my boss. I've known him for 5 years. We play video games, do late model racing. I look at him as one of my best friends. It feels like I'm not driving for a team owner. This is just Dale. He said, Carson said, I knew he cared about me, but didn't know how much it affected him till he was holding back tears. He said, to have someone that invested in me is everything. And of course, now in position to go back-to-back, Dylan.
Well, and what a great ambassador for the sport that Dale has become, you know, especially since he's retired from full-time driving. And not just for this series, for NASCAR as a whole. He and you see Rodney Childers, the crew chief there, two guys that just have seen it all and done it all and believed in their young driver this entire process, and the proof is in the pudding and paid off finally for them at Indianapolis.
And Dale has done so much for young drivers. You think Josh Berry, Carson Kvapil, heck, myself, he gave me a chance to go win a race last year, out of nowhere. So he's a great ambassador, but he's someone who's just so into the sport and loves to see young drivers and different people in the sport have an opportunity to succeed, give them a platform to do that, and he's done that with Carson Kvapil, and that meant a lot to him to see him be successful. And for Carson here now in Iowa to go back-to-back, his first 2 wins, it's going to come down to what do you choose on this restart.
How's the race leader, the 9, feeling, Kim?
Feeling pretty good, although they are leaning into the thought that this restart is going to be chaos. But we've seen the outside be the preferred lane in the choose. Does the 9 team concur? Here's in-car audio from Ross's team.
Man, I think you got to take top right here, and I mean those fenders are clean too. We don't need them. This is your last race with us for the year, so use them up.
Now, be on the top and roll around them.
And I think to be able to win, like Chastain taking the outside is the given. To be able to win, though, you're going to have to be on the inside of him. You see how Carson goes to the inside. I don't think you can win in a green-white checkered from third. Or the second row outside. You take the second row outside for kind of the long game, trying to put yourself in the best position, after that restart. But if you want to go for the win, you do exactly what Carson Kvapil did. Try to get the best restart. The other thing that's going to come into this restart that we haven't really seen today is they're on the oldest tires. There's going to be a lot more wheel spin, timing that out when Ross decides to go, how good a job the one car does getting down into turn 1, and then how friendly is Ryan Sieg going to be at not making it 3 wide.
Well, and then what does Justin Allgaier do here, right? On newer tires, what does he decide to do? Does he go the outside, put it 3 wide? He has all those decisions, and he'll be a big factor in what the 9 ends up doing compared to the 1.
Overtime rules, you see them there, the left of the screen. Once the white flag flies, the next flag, be it caution or checkered, ends the race. Third overtime in the last 4 races. We had none in the first 19 races of the year, but this time of year, everybody a little bit antsy and a little bit excited to go racing here, and we'll sort it out. Green, white, checkered finish.
Ross spins the tires.
Great to the outside. Carson Kvapil.
Kvapil gets away with the lead. Chastain scrambling. Sieg gets turned around into the wall. Allgaier and Cruz get a piece of it, as does Mayer, and they are crashing deeper in the field.
Oh, boy.
That was a wreck that started at the very front of the field and worked its way all the way towards the back.
Yeah, Carson did an awesome job not spinning his tires. Got a great launch.
And that's big for the bubble, potentially. Sam Mayer, one of those cars that needed to have a good day. You just saw it reset there. Ryan Sieg. Bummer day for them. Brent Cruz, the bigger one there, came in here above the cut and now sits -5.
Yeah, but I think when we go back and take a look at this, 19 is going to play a huge factor.
Yeah.
In exactly.
We're killed.
Yeah.
Boy, and
exactly what happens here.
What a bummer for so many of these guys. Allgaier, who really was sort of in the catbird seat there. Sieg, who'd had a great day.
Take a look right here. Brent Cruz, you see third car back on the inside. Talked about everybody, making it 3 wide. See Allgaier gets to the outside. Brent's down to the inside of Sieg.
He just loses the front, gets in the Sieg, and goes up the racetrack into Justin Allgaier, and then everyone's checking up behind. It was, I believe, Taylor Gray that got in the back of Sam Mayer as they checked up.
And that spot for Cruz, it's not the first time today that we saw him have an issue kind of at the entry to center of the corner, washing up into some guys.
Big moment there for Raja Caruth. They're right on that chase bubble. Seeing a couple of his chase competitors there on the bubble go spinning around in front of him.
He sneaks through and has scored
what
fourth
a restart.
right now.
Look at that. 4 or 5 wide. It's like Sieg kind of jumped up on top of the 7. You saw it just destroy the fender of Allgaier's car.
12th caution of the day here. That ties the Iowa record. And a lot of good cars involved in this one.
It's odd how Brent Cruz gets into the 39 there of Ryan Sieg and then sort of takes off up the track in some respects. Like it just lost the front end or even cut down the right front.
See Sammy Smith getting a piece of it there in the 8 car. And these guys back there, Carson Brown, Patrick Staropoli, likely just saw that smoke and just trying to get out of everybody's way and all sort of just ran out of racetrack.
Such a shame
Austin
for
Hill,
Ryan
look
Sieg.
at that on the bottom, though. Caruth, Creed, a bunch of those guys are able to slide through, going to get great results because of that.
Sammy Smith got damaged there. Still trying to fight back from that pit road penalty he had earlier.
Ryan Ellis, Days of Thunder style here through the smoke.
Yeah. He's giving us great shots today.
Here's in real time.
You're right. It's almost like either it like ripped the wheel out of the Brent's hand or the tire got cut down, because it wasn't just normally when you're on the inside and you have the contact, you spin that guy out and you keep going, but it shot the 19 car up the track.
And that's what I thought was odd. It's just, it sort of takes off in some respects compared to what you're saying exactly. Like you bounce off that car on the outside normally, not continue on up the racetrack like the right front got cut or, you know, the wheel gets knocked out of your hands or something bends in the steering.
Well, the benefactor of all of that, courtesy of a great restart, was Carson Quapple. Chris is downstairs with his crew chief.
Yeah, what a restart for Carson, who now currently leads this race. Rodney, all right, you survived one. Can you survive another one, especially with the fuel that's on board still?
Yeah, rewatching the last 2 races here, it gets pretty crazy at the end of it. So just awesome job by Carson all day. We started the race a little too free, and we've been able to chip away at it and get him, you know, pretty close here at the end. So just happy with everybody on the Bass Pro Shop, Chevrolet, everybody at Junior Motorsports, the Hendrick Engine Shop. Man, we've been in contention to win these things every week here lately, and it's a lot of fun, so hopefully we can get it done.
I know there's a fuel save going on. Are you worried yet, or do we need a few more of these until you get worried?
Yeah, if we get a few more of them, it'll get pretty close, but right now we're okay.
All right, that's Rodney Childers going to put the headset back on. Carson Quapple leading the field here in the late stages.
That is Rodney Childers' excitement level 10.
I was going to say, that's his worried voice.
Yeah, that's right. It's the same no matter what it is. One thing about this restart, we saw Carson do just an awesome job against Chastain. Ross is going to get a redemption restart here and be able to see if he can time it out. I really felt like the outside was going to have the advantage, especially on the launch, being in the preferred lane, but Carson just did a really good job. And it's so hard inside the car because if you get too aggressive, as soon as the wheels start spinning, your instinct is to keep giving it more gas because you see the guy beside you, you know, starting to gain ground and knowing it's a green-white checkered. It's just, it's so hard to be disciplined and give up that little bit of momentum that you need.
Well, if the excitement today hasn't been enough for you, join us in 2 weeks. Friday, August 28th, O'Reilly Auto Parts Series returns to the World Center of Racing, Daytona International Speedway. Don't miss a second of pure, raw racing from Daytona. And Friday night, August the 28th, 7 p.m. Eastern, only on the CW, streaming live on the ESPN app. Who won the last summer Daytona race?
That's a great trivia question. I'll let you guys figure it out.
He's,
it's been almost
probably the greatest driver of all time, I'd have to say.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's right.
That's right.
The record book does not say
so
Parker Kligerman.
Not Parker.
Yeah.
Brutal. Hey, as of this time, I don't have a ride, but it was about this time last year that I got the call.
That's right.
All right, Carson looks like he's going to take the top. I don't think that's a surprise.
Chastain goes to the bottom.
Ooh, Austin Hill
to
took the inside, though. That would make me nervous if I'm Chastain.
And I think part of what happened to Ross was maybe just the bump from Allgaier at the same point that he started to maybe spin the tires a little bit. So, you know, for Carson, he had such a good launch on the bottom. He had no one pushing him. He was able to hook up those rear tires. But really, Raja Caruth there behind him could play a massive factor in if he's able to get the power down or not.
I would not want Austin Hill behind me.
No.
Not on the inside. He's aggressive. You know he's going to make it 3 wide. And if I'm Carson, I don't really want any help from Raja. Just let me accelerate at my own pace. I don't need any help here.
Yeah, a lot of times we talk about wanting that push. You may want it, but you want it later in the restart box than what happened to Ross on that last restart.
Headed into overtime again, sponsored by Credit One Bank for what's ahead.
Big decision for the one of Quapple. Do you go early or late?
Early.
Or the middle?
Always early.
Absolutely early.
Always early.
Quapple, the control car in the outside lane. Teammate Chastain on his left. Back to green at Iowa. Overtime restart again. Quapple gets the jump. Raja Caruth shoves him out to the front. Austin Hill to the inside, racing Chastain for the 3rd spot.
Austin Hill got really loose. Raja to 2nd.
Carson did an awesome job, though, blocking the inside and the outside. Looked like Raja had a little bit of momentum. Carson did an awesome job being able to protect that.
Excellent restart.
Hill still trying to get his wits about him as they come off of turn number 4. White flag in the air. Carson Quapple trying to go back-to-back. Won 2 weeks ago at Indianapolis for his first career victory. Can he hold off his teammate?
He's in great position there off of 4. Just have a clean 3 and 4, and he's got this.
Chastain sideways back in the pack, racing William Sawalich for 3rd. Out of turn 4, back-to-back. Carson Quapple to victory lane. He's your winner at Iowa.
Thank you, Rodney. Big crew, you guys are awesome. You carried me the first half of that race. Thank you. Oh, that's cool. Thank you, guys. Thank you.
The first one's the toughest one.
Well, you can't explain the pressure that is taken off of that young man after being able to win at Indy, after the last 2 years, everything that he's been through. And this is what you expect to happen once you get that first win, that you're going to see him come more and more often. And he mentioned it wasn't just him. He talked about that team carrying him through the first half. Maybe didn't have the best car all race long, but they had the best car when it counted.
Dad Travis is not here again. We may have to keep him away. He's at another late model race.
I feel confident he's watching.
I bet he is, and bet he is thrilled.
He's definitely watching.
Bet he is thrilled.
There's a lot of people that supported this young man, and I think there's a lot of people expected this types of performances from him. We saw them just often, but at the wrong times and points of the races and not closing it out. And now 2 races in a row to close it out and get to victory lane. This is huge for this young man, his career. You know, it is hard in this sport to get support, to keep that support. You've got to win. It can fix everything you have behind, in terms of support or having opportunities. And I think, doing what he's just done now, 2 races in a row, is massive.
A month ago, Carson Quapple wasn't sure what he was going to do next year.
Yep.
I think there were a lot of unknowns. A lot of people believed in him, but winning fixes almost all of your issues. Winning back-to-back races, he'll sleep pretty good over the next 2 weeks knowing he's going to be in a great position.
He's the 9th driver to earn their first 2 O'Reilly Auto Parts Series wins in consecutive races, the first since Shane Van Gisbergen did it a couple of years ago. And there's no time like the present if you're going to get hot. With the chase looming, 1 more race, and it's at Daytona in a couple weeks, and then the run for the championship begins. A lot of momentum for this one team right now, Carson Quapple, Rodney Childers and company. Saw Ross Chastain there. Had a chance, ultimately has to settle for 4th. Great runs for Raja Caruth and William Sawalich, though. 3rd straight top 5 for the 18, and a much-needed good day for the 88. In the midst of that points battle.
And I hope Carson can take it in and enjoy it, because I feel like when you get that first win, it's a blur, everything that's going on. Hope he, getting to have back-to-back wins can think about what he missed out on at Indy and savor this and really enjoy being in victory lane again.
Cruz out there, he'll climb out of the car. Carson Quapple, the winner again, this time in Iowa, Kim.
Yeah, Carson Quapple 2 for 2 in the last 2 races. I know that one wasn't easy. Double overtime. How did you say so disciplined these last 2 restarts?
Yeah, just I knew we had a really fast car. I knew the 7 was on fresher tires, so that was really my biggest concern there. I think the 9 probably had it. That yellow didn't come out there at the end. I thought we were fast running them down, but we just didn't have enough there to fill the gap. But Rodney and everyone on this, Johnny Morris and everyone at Bass Pro Shops, Clarence Technologies Chevrolet with Hendrick Motors under the hood, brought a really fast race car. And unlike our first 2 stages, we were really able to run down the leaders there at the end, and just all worked out. We got that restart we needed and got the win.
How does number 2 feel different than 2 weeks ago at Indy?
Well, it feels really cool to win again, but not as big as Indy, I guess you'd say. But just super exciting. It just goes to show what this number 1 group has and what they bring to the racetrack. I felt like we were not the greatest in the first 2 stages, and Rodney did his touches to it and it turned us into a race-winning car.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Carson Quapple, a winner here at Iowa Speedway.